This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, thank you for being here. Let me share this with you real quick. I am working on posting it to my YouTube right now. I don't have hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to fix it where everybody can see the pictures because I haven't edited the other two pictures I have. Sorry. Hold on just a minute. Okay. Sorry, I just felt like I really needed to post that real quick. Let me see if I can read it. So, it tells us that Lily and Jack Sullivan are missing from the Missing Children Society of Canada. That's who did the poster. The circumstances is they were missing from May 2nd, 2025. Last location was Gerlach Road in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, Nova Scotia. Personal details is that Lily is 6 and Jack is 4. Their physical description: Lily has shoulder length, light brown hair with bangs, might be wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, and pink boots. Jack has short blondish hair wearing blue dinosaur boots. It says if you have any information on this missing youth, please contact any of the following: Pictou County District, RCMP, or Royal Canadian Mounted Police, I do believe is what it is. And that phone number is 1-902-485-4333. Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or 8477, or Missing Children Society of Canada, which is 1-800-661-6160. You can also email tips at mcsc.ca. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you, Cara, Bad Girl, Southern Cats, Abellis, Anders, Edith, Indie Girl, Trailgazer, Cindy from sunny South Florida. Tom, good to see you. Crackerjacks, good to see you. Orange Rose, good to see you. Thank you, Bad Girl. Michael Green Chili Chicken, good to see you. Good to see you. I hope y'all all had a good Mother's Day. Hey, One Sunny Day, and Jenny Jen, my love. Capital K Productions was thumbs up number 9. Thank you so much for that. If you would please hit the thumbs up, I appreciate that so much. Tyron, 1985 from South Africa. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so I did put out a video on them this morning, and then I was working on more videos and audios for the case that we're talking about right now, which is the Victoria Martens case.
Case on the
And
record, it's
I was going through audios, and we do have an audio here, once I get it pulled up, from Fabian's baby mama. And she says some real interesting things. Like, I don't know, it gave me a whole nother perspective on Fabian. Now, I do want to say that, but I mean, please keep in mind this is a baby mama. A disgruntled ex-lover, if you will. So just be careful with what you take in. But she said some things that had me questioning a lot of things. I was like, whoa, really? Hey, Indy, Bad Girl, thank you for being thumbs up number 27. So we're going to listen to this. It's about 20 minutes long, and then we'll go into Jessica's, I think it's going to be the afternoon session of her testimony. She was just getting into what had happened to Victoria, the details of the decapitation and things like that, right when we left off last time. So, with that, we'll get started and see, hey, Fawny, and see what Fabian's baby mama had to say. I did add captions to this because she is kind of hard to understand at times. Let me take it back.
Okay, so on the record, it's August 31st, 2016, 8:46 a.m. This is in reference to case number 160078669. I will be giving a call to Amanda. She is Fabian's baby's mother.
Real quick side note, thank you so much, Jenny Jen, for the trigger warning. To my mods, I'm hoping that we can get together this evening. I know we weren't able to yesterday. Everybody had a bunch of things going on. So I'm hoping that we can get together this evening. I will get with y'all in Discord today and figure out, I'm thinking with everybody's work schedules and things like that, like maybe this evening would be a good time. Hey, Nicole, you did just join right at the correct time because we just got started. Good to see you.
Hello?
Hi, can I speak to Amanda?
This is her.
Hi, Amanda. It's Detective Brown again. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Do you have a moment to talk?
Yeah, I can talk to you.
Okay. So again, just kind of following up on yesterday. You mentioned that the media was essentially kind of hounding you to get a statement.
Well, yeah, they just, were asking me, if I wanted to interview
Hey, Lorraine, good to see you.
on Fabian.
On Fabian? Okay. Can you tell me how you know Fabian?
I have a daughter by Fabian. I was with him from 2012, I think, to 2014.
Okay.
When they talked about the girl in the case for the 2014 domestic violence and the baby in the backseat, that's me.
Oh, it is? Okay. Okay.
That's me and my daughter.
Wow. Okay. What is your...
So we remember reading through his list of charges, and we've heard about the abuse of a child. She's basically saying, when that's brought up and they talk about that, his other charge, which was abuse of a child in some sort of context, that charge is from her, and it's Fabian got that charge from her and their daughter that they have together. So she is the mother of Fabian's daughter.
Your daughter's name? Gotcha. Okay. And last name?
Gonzalez?
Okay. And how old is she?
She's two and a half. She turned.
Oh, okay. What's her date of birth? And what was that domestic violence about, if you don't mind me asking?
We had fought a previous, before that night occurred, we had gotten into an argument, a few days before that, and he left. Where we were staying at my cousin's, he left, and he went to go stay at his brother's.
Okay.
And he had called me that night of the incident. He called me and said, I got paid. Can I see the baby and can go to the store? And I said, yeah, we can. So then I went and picked him up, and he had already been drinking. And he's just me when he drinks, and we started fighting. And I said, just take me, I'm going to take you home because I'm going to go home. I said, I want to go with you to the store. And he got really upset about it. So then we just kept fighting all over town and arguing, and he just didn't want me to drop him off.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Were you aware of his new girlfriend?
No, I haven't talked to Fabian he went to prison in August. When he was in prison in Santa Rosa, he went there in August. We stayed talking until November, and then I stopped talking to him, and I met somebody else, and then he got out in January of 2015, and I actually talked to him for Easter of 2015. He wanted to see Ava. I found out he was out of prison, and so I met up with him, and he saw Ava. And then I talked to him from April 2015 to May 2015, early June.
Oh, okay.
And then I cut all ties with him.
How come he went to prison?
For the domestic violence that happened that night.
Oh, he got charged? Okay, he got convicted and sent to prison for that DV? Okay.
Yeah, and he had a probation violation.
Oh, he had a probation violation too? Okay.
But that's when he had Stan Whitaker had issued him to serve years of supervised probation in South Carolina because his mom was there, and he absconded and came back to New Mexico. So they put out a probation violation.
Okay. So have you seen the news as far as
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Can you tell me how it made you feel knowing that he was arrested?
Like kind of creepy, like when he was around my kids, because I have a 5-year-old daughter too. And
So one sunny day, he got abuse of a child from like evidently the story is they were arguing in a car and the baby saw it, or he like flung his hand and accidentally hit the baby in the car. For Victoria, he got reckless child endangerment. You hope she's had a study hour. Oh my goodness. Tom, yeah, how are you feeling? I'll be hard working in the coal mine this evening, but I'll be there, okay?
my 9-year-old son, and I thought, like, I don't know, like, how did I let someone like that in my house?
Okay.
And I don't know, it was just like creepy, like, I don't know.
Well, describe what you mean by creepy.
Like that, how can I sleep with a monster? How can I sleep with a man who, like, sexually freaking abused that little girl and hurt her, like, killed her?
Okay. So let me ask you this. Prior to you seeing the news about him being arrested, did you notice anything weird about him, or was he essentially kind of normal to you?
I haven't talked to him.
Okay.
At all, like, since, like, 2000. I haven't really talked to him. I don't know him anymore. Like, I don't know who he is. When I did see him from April 2015 to June 2015, he was totally not the same person. Like, it was weird. Like, he's always been abusive towards me, and, like, he would, like, hit me. He's hit me numerous times, and, like, give me black eyes and fat lips, and...
Right.
So this is really interesting to hear how abusive he was. Um, I mean, she gives us a whole nother perspective to Fabian. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but there is a tree frog, like, I think it's like right outside by the window, and he's being very loud. I love tree frogs, so I let him hang out, but if y'all hear that, I apologize. Um, thank you, Southern Cats, for giving Tom prayers. Tom says, I'm home from the hospital now. Won't be going back for 3 months. Oh my goodness, sweetheart. That's crazy. I hope that you can heal fast, and I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers. Hey, content. Oh, he was just chirping. He's being quiet now. I'm sure you'll hear it. um, I don't know, but he just did it. I don't know if you could hear it. But anyway, this is a stark contrast. I believe Fabian in his testimony, right? And she testifies that he was very abusive. He would hit her, but it always seemed to be when he was drinking. But to be fair, he was drinking when he was with Michelle and the night that everything happened to Victoria.
When he would drink, he'd get abusive, and there were times when, like, I wouldn't want to have sex. He'd, like, make me have sex with him or make me suck his dick, like, things like that. So, but when he got out of prison and I seen him, he just acted like he wasn't Fabian.
So she just said that she would not want to have relations with him, and he would make her do things sexually. Um, this interview is going to be very triggering, and for that I do apologize. I'll back it up a little bit, but she also said that when he got out of prison, he wasn't Fabian anymore. So that makes me concerned that something happened in prison, possibly to him, and it changed him. She didn't say anything about anything predatory or any kind of pedo behavior, and she doesn't, so. Oh, I used to collect frogs. Bad girl.
He would, like, hit me. He'd hit me numerous times and, like, give me black eyes and fat lips. And when he would drink, he'd get abusive. And there were times when, like, I wouldn't want to have sex. He'd, like, make me have sex with him or make me suck his dick, like, things like that. So, but when he got out of prison and I seen him, he just acted like he wasn't Fabian.
Did you say he would make you do things?
Well, like, tell me, like, if I don't know, like, if I say no, he keep pestering and pestering and pestering.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean?
So, I mean, it's concerning that he would do that, but to be fair, if she said no, he would just keep bugging the crap out of her. I don't like it. I don't think that's cool at all, but like, I mean, I understand. It's, I don't want to say it's not unusual, but like, I get it, I guess. Like, pestering somebody is different than forcing them, I would say. Either way, though, it's really bad, I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I already knew that he would hit me like in the past. So then I don't know, like I would just, I don't know, out of fear, I would just do it.
Well, no, that's important for me to know. So like,
Yeah.
what would he do, and what would he say to make you do things?
Like he'd just be like, "Oh, he's like, you don't want to have sex with me." He'd be like, "What's wrong with you? Are you sleeping with somebody else? Like, are you a whore?" So, well, fuck you. Then I don't need to sleep with somebody. Like, I could find another girl. You're fat. Like, just like put me down and stuff. And then I'd go like to have sex with him, and then he'd always like have to role play. Like, I thought it's weird. Like, not like just like, oh, like talk about it. I don't know, like say it. Kind of uncomfortable, but he like want to talk about sex while we're having sex. And then in the middle of having sex time, he'd want to stop and be like, I need to take a shot. I'm like, what the hell?
Take a shot of what?
Hey, I don't know.
What was that?
I don't know what he's. Oh, I was talking to my mother-in-law. She had the baby.
Oh, okay.
Like a shot of vodka. He's a big, heavy vodka drinker. He had to have a bottle of vodka every day.
Oh, really? Okay. Did he ever force you? I mean, did he ever force you into
He
doing
never
it?
said like I'm gonna kill you or
Okay.
like, you know what I mean. Like, but I was very fearful because he hit me previous times.
Okay.
So then I was like, I don't know how to explain it. You know, if someone's drinking or if they get mad, they like you can see them escalate, like their madness, like they matter.
Right.
And then to prevent it, you just freaking like say okay, like you don't want to fight. Like when I was with Fabian, he was like controlling and abusive, and he secluded me from my family and my friends, and like he molded me into the person he wanted me to be. Like he would take out my clothes. Sometimes he would tell me like you're gonna wear this, and like it was like I had two older kids, and then when I met him, I ended up sending them to live with their grandma and their dad. And he like I don't know how to explain it. Like he said things like we're gonna move to South Carolina, we're gonna get a house, and we'll come back for the kids. That never happened. Like I got rid of my apartment, my job, sent my kids live with their dad and their grandma, and then he left me hanging. He went to South Carolina, took my income tax money, and left me with nothing.
Okay.
Now that's bullshit. She gets her to give her kids, her other two kids, to their dad and their paternal grandmother, and then she leaves with him and is like, I'm gonna get a house and we're gonna get a place and move to South Carolina, and then he took all her money and just left. Like that's really sad. And they have a kid together that she's taking care of. I'm concerned. Mother-in-law, is that Fabian's mother she's referring to? I'm not sure, content. I was wondering the same thing. Um, Tom says, "Ladies, a man never does these things to you. Run like hell away from him." Yeah. This is like red flag central. Not good at all. So I'm concerned about that. That's not acceptable, dude.
And then but then I'm an idiot because I stayed talking to him and with him because I kept, for some reason I couldn't get away from him. Like whatever he said was true. Like even if he hit me or anything, I was like, no, it was my fault. It was never his fault. And I always thought that for some reason I couldn't get out of this. It was like I was under a spell. Sounds weird, but I feel like if it wasn't for him getting arrested in 2014 in that August, I don't think I ever got away.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. How often did he role play?
I don't know, like almost every time we had sex. Like we met, and every time we had sex, he wouldn't kiss me.
So this is gonna get triggering again.
He didn't like to kiss, and like he would just want to I don't know, like a role play, and I like fantasize. Like he never went like 2 times he role played like where he talked about like oh let's have threesome, where he'd want to watch porn and have sex and then talk about it.
He would like to
Like
watch
basically,
porn?
yeah.
Okay.
He liked to watch. He was like, let's watch porn together. And then it's like, off. I don't like that. Like, I don't know. He want to talk about it, like while he's watching it.
So, okay, he would like to watch porn while you guys have sex?
Yeah, and he'd be like, oh, she looks. He'd be like, oh, look, she likes my dick, and it's like they're like the girl and the guy have sex on the fucking like porn show, and he's like, oh, look, she likes my dick. Oh, she likes it. But it's like, it was weird.
I'm sorry, but that is weird. They're watching an adult film together, and he's having relations with his girlfriend while watching the adult film. Like, some people do that. I don't really have that much of an issue with that necessarily. But then while he's having relations with this girl, he's looking at the video and saying, "Oh, look, she likes my member. She likes it a lot. Oh, look at her. She's moaning and she likes it." Like, what? And yeah, at that point, I'd be like, whoa, like, just stop. This is, no, too much, too much. Whoa, too much. Anders said, but he had some deviant sexual fantasies. I don't, see, she doesn't mention anything with children. I personally, Fabian is hard because I really don't feel like he did anything to Victoria, but I don't know. There's some questionable things said, but nothing involving children. Um, yeah, I don't. It's weird. Hey, heathen. Right, bad girl? Like, that's just, Mercedes said totally unbiased and no actual proof, but I don't get the child violator vibe from him. Right, right. I agree. And keep in mind, this is a disgruntled ex. I mean, but, judging by her story, I'd be kind of disgruntled too, if I'm being honest.
So, wow, okay.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
What?
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm kind of like, I'm trying to understand why what's going on in his head.
He's like 3 different people, I think, because I've seen like 3 different sides of him. Like,
Oh, really?
But keep in mind, like, he evidently would, I don't know if she said it yet or she says it in a minute, he would have to have a pint of vodka every single day. So I think that influenced him and who he was around her as well, because people are totally different when they drink. They're mean, usually not very nice. So I don't know. I, I mean, of course, she saw the real him from some points, like, at certain points during their relationship, but it makes sense that she would say he's 3 different people because there's the real him, the him on alcohol, and then the him on alcohol and substances, I would think. Hey, Bree Black, good to see you. Bree Black said he and his cousin Jessica are both sex offenders. So I don't think he's a sex offender. I wasn't able to find that on the registry. His brother is a sex offender against children, and Jessica is. He had a child abuse charge where he supposedly, I think, accidentally maybe smacked a baby or like he was fighting with his girlfriend, the girl that's talking right now, in the car and flung his hand and might have hit the baby or was just arguing in front of the baby. And he got a child abuse charge. He went to prison for that. And then even in the Victoria case, his DNA wasn't found on her, and he got a reckless child endangerment charge for having Jessica around Victoria. Anders said, yeah, many people get mean. I don't understand why they want to drink. I don't either. I'll never understand. Yeah, I don't play with people who drink anyway. Yeah, she said a bottle of vodka every day. Yeah, I knew it was in here. I don't like to be around people who drink. My dad was an alcoholic, so I just don't, like, even when I met Mr. Speculating, he would drink on the weekends, and he don't even drink on the weekends anymore. It's just, I don't know. I guess it's something maybe you grow out of, or some people do still drink. It's not something we do. I don't even like to drink for fun. Like, it's not even fun for me.
it's like a mean side and a appreciative. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I know he's a heavy drinker. Like, he has to drink every day.
Oh, okay.
if he doesn't get a pint of dark ice vodka every day, or a tall can of the Bud Ice,
Right.
he's like mad. Like that's what he wants every morning and every day.
Do you know if he ever did any type of drugs?
Yeah, he did meth, I think, and weed. And I don't know. He said, yeah, someone said that he'd done pills and stuff. But I don't know.
Okay. How was he when you? Can you tell me how his behavior was, if you remember, when he was on meth and weed?
It's the same as it was when he was on alcohol.
Oh, really?
It's like he would just act like the same. Like I never experienced him acting like crazy when he was on high or anything, like off drugs.
Right.
But I guess like now, like I talked to people that were hanging around with him, and he was acting crazy. I guess when he'd get high. But when I was hanging out with him or talking to him, he never stayed up for longer than like a day and a half. And I guess like recently he was staying up for 3 days, like 4 days.
Oh, yeah?
I guess that's what I heard. So don't quote me on that. That's what I heard.
Right. I know that. Okay.
I'm like,
All right. So I'm just trying to get back on the sex part. Okay. So he would role play. He'd talk about sex during sex. Is that correct? You said?
yeah, like
And then-
about what's going on the TV.
And then he liked to watch porn while having sex.
Yeah, and then they talk about like, say a girl and a guy are fucking, he would talk and narrate like if the girl was fucking him. Does that make sense?
But would he be talking to you, or would he be just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, talking to me like, oh, she likes my dick. Oh, look, she's moaning. Oh, it feels good. Like weird shit like that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, people have different kinks, but I would be very much turned off by that and just stop. Indy, I hope that Indy said maybe he was so messed up that he didn't see Victoria as a child. I would hope not. I genuinely, considering that the cell phone evidence shows that Michelle and Fabian were not even at the residence when at Victoria's time of death, I genuinely think that Jessica was messed up and let somebody come in and do something to her. And then she got rid of the body. Her testimony is that Fabian helped. At this point, that's her word against his. There was no cameras in the apartment. I don't know if we'll ever know, but that's, if anything did happen, I think that would be it. But again, I mean, they talk about that she had been violated for an extended period of time and had HPV. I don't know where that came from. I think it came from the ex-boyfriend that worked at Bye Bye Baby, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know the answer to that either. And they still haven't found the unknown male DNA that was on her. Yeah, I can't either, bad girl. I can't drink for a nice buzz. I don't, I mean, it's always just made me sleepy. And a lot of people, yeah, got to be falling over drunk. And I just don't like it. I don't find happiness in being around people like that. Crackerjack said, I think we do grow out of it. I'm exactly the same age as you said. It does nothing for me now, coffee and Pepsi Max. Right. I drink coffee and Red Bull. Probably shouldn't drink as much Red Bull as I do, but that's it for me. Hey, Joy, it's good to see you, love. And Veronica, good to see you, love.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, it was like, shut up. Like, really? Like, it was totally just like, can you just shut up?
Right.
I don't know. It's like,
Okay, but and while you guys were doing this, did he ever make you do anything you didn't want to do?
no, it was like, what do you mean? Like, he would be like, oh, like, one time he's like, oh, can you give me head? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't like doing that. He's like, just give me head. And I'm like, no. And he's like, come on, babe, please. And I was like, I really don't want to do that. He said, well, that's fucked up if you don't give me head. And then, like, I said, fine, I'll do it for a little bit, but I don't want to do it for one time. I don't like doing that. And then so I started to do that, and then he was just like, all like, didn't want to let me stop. And then I was like, I'm not doing that. I'll stop. And then that was it. I stopped.
How did he not want to let you stop?
Because, like, oh my
Like, what
God,
did
it's
he
so
do?
aggressive.
I know, I'm sorry.
Like, it's like he was having sex with my head. Like, I don't know.
He would
Like,
hold
count my
your
head. Like, no, it was like, no, not hold my head, but he was like moving his body, like if he was like having sex with my mouth. And it was like, stop. And I tried to get up, and he just like tried to like push more. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, not hold me down. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Did you ever tell him to stop?
No, I stopped. I was like, I don't do it anymore.
Okay. All right. How did it make you feel when he was doing that to you?
Like, uncomfortable, like what the fuck? And afterwards, he's like, I'm sorry, it felt so good, I didn't want to stop. And I was like, well, I want to stop, but I didn't want to keep doing it. And he kind of got mad, but I was all, well, he just, like, ended it after that. And then he just, like, I don't know what happened after that, but we just ended it.
Okay.
Like, ended the sex thing.
Okay. How often would this behavior occur?
Now, I mean, it is concerning again that she's like she wants to stop. But if you think about a man that, I want to give you a trigger warning. But if you think about a man that's like maybe been drinking and you're doing something and it feels really good, he's probably not going to want you to stop. I think a lot of it has to do with the alcohol and behaviors he's presenting due to being highly intoxicated. Um, Again, I'm not hearing anything about children or hurting children in that way as of right now. That's just my perspective on it, and I respect everybody's perspective on it as well if you have a different perspective than I do. And if you have the same either way.
Was it like every time you guys have sex, or was it how often?
Oh, like the talking thing?
Yeah, the
like
talking.
The porn and talking?
Yeah.
Like, not every time it was porn, but, like, most of the times it was, like, the talking, narrating things, like, a few times it was the porn, but, like, I noticed when he was high, like, that's when he wanted to, like, talk about, porn and, like, talk about shit like that. He wanted to do, like, weird shit, like, freaky shit, like, let's try this position and this, and I was like, the hell? But for some reason, he never wanted to kiss. Like, even if we weren't having sex, he wasn't affectionate.
Really?
Like, if we wouldn't hold my hand in public, he wouldn't freaking kiss me in public. He said he didn't like to do that in public. He said he didn't like to do that, but he never kissed me, really.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry to ask you these kind of questions. It's just that they're important for my investigation. Okay. You don't have to talk to any media again. If they continue to blow you up or whatever, you can just tell them I don't want to talk. Okay.
I just told him no. I said that at this time I refused to do an interview because I refuse to do an interview at this time because I don't want to put my daughter or my other children at risk or myself.
Right.
And the news reporter got offended by that. And he's like, I don't know how you would be putting yourself or your children in danger by doing an interview with your face obstructed or something and your name not seen. I'm like, I don't like Fabian or his family, and like I'm scared of Fabian. Like, honestly, since all this happened, for some reason I'm like scared. I sleep with the dog inside, and then I'm like for some reason I feel like he's gonna get out. Like, they know his mom has money, and I'm afraid like that he's gonna get out.
Right.
And I don't know why. I'm afraid like.
Hey, Scratch the Paint. Yeah, she talks really fast. It was hard for me to make sure the words were right. So that's why I put that up there, because it would have been impossible to understand without the words. He does look a lot different than he did when he got arrested.
Like, I don't want him to come to get my daughter now. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, well, I can tell you that I don't think he's going to get out of jail right now, okay? All right. His bond,
okay.
His
Are
bond
you sure?
is very high. Yeah, it's $1 million cash-only bond.
Okay.
Okay. But feel free to call me if you have any concerns. Okay, this is my work cell phone number. And again, you don't have to answer to the media. Okay. All right.
And so you don't think he'll get out for sure? I'm like,
What was that?
I want him to get out. I said, so he won't get out? Like, everybody tells me he won't get out, but I just have a feeling like
I don't think he's going to
he
get
gets
out. Obviously I can't say 100%, but his bond is flipping high, and I really find it hard to believe that someone could post $1 million bond for him or would want to do that. Okay.
I know. I just know that I'm going to tell you, he is capable of being that mean, like, abusive, but I never thought he'd do it to a child, but I will say that he beat me up a few times, and I was like, how could you hit me like that? Or
Right.
Hey, Kalisa, it's good to see you. Tom said all those green bologna sandwiches he's eating in prison, yeah, make you put on the weight. Ander said he became fat too, but not like Jessica. Wonder what they feed people in jail. A lot of carbs to keep you from being hungry. Cara said, I'll get those green bologna sandwiches is what gave him that bad lip tattoo. Yeah, I think it's some kind of gang affiliated thing. I don't know. But yeah, it's a weird tattoo. Cindy said it seems she has low self esteem. She's explaining why she says no to the media. Hopefully she'll get some help. I hope she did. I hope she did. Yeah, they are deep.
Okay. Well, Amanda,
Will my name be like, but you mention my name at all? No?
what was that?
Will you mention my name at all? Like what I said or anything? Or
I'm going to
Hey,
just mention
Hannah.
what
Good to see
you
you.
stated in my report, and then I'm going to give that
Okay.
report to the DA's office, okay? I'm not going to tell...
if they won't say my name.
I'm not going to tell anybody that I
Okay.
talked to you. The only people that
Okay,
are
thank
going to...
God.
Yeah, the only people that are going to know, right away is the DA's office, okay? Because
Okay.
they got to know everybody that I talked to, right? And
Have a good day, Cindy. Good to see you, Hannah. Indy in jail, because I don't know. I've had this experience. I don't know if other people have had this experience, but like for lunch and sometimes even for dinner, like they'll give you these sandwiches that are in this paper bag and it'll be bologna sandwiches, but the bologna is like it's it's like red, but it'll have like a neon green also color to it sometimes. Sometimes it was like neon blue. Sometimes it was like a weird color, dark red. Not normal colors for bologna at all, and it would smell extremely weird. It wasn't good. So we call them green bologna sandwiches. But yeah, it's probably because it's like really old and nasty. Um, it just awful. I don't know. Like, I think they got in trouble for feeding people that at one of the places I was locked up at. Bologna is like, um, I think they take like every part of a pig that's been processed and like smash it all together and make it like a fillet of meat, a very thin like meat fillet kind of thing. I think it's like got everything in it. I don't know, probably some I don't know. Yeah, the mold is setting in, something like that, and they give it to us and expect us to eat it. I would not. You like bologna sandwiches, Joy? Good, more power to you. I promise you wouldn't like those. Yeah, like it's like a fungus is eating it. Tastes like a giant hot dog. Yeah, and I don't like hot dogs. Yeah, they do the same thing with the hot dogs. Yep, tons of sodium. It's good to see you, Marcia, too. By the way.
then,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm not going to go to the media, or I'm not going to tell, anybody else, hey, I talked to Amanda and she said this, okay?
Okay.
All righty?
Okay. Thank you. And if I need anything, I'll give you a call.
I appreciate it. And then, so just so you know also, the DA's office, they may be contacting you in the future, okay?
Okay.
All righty?
Just to like talk to me like you talk to me, or?
Yeah, just to talk to you like you, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, man, I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, 9:05 a.m.
So that's the end of what the girlfriend had to say. Now, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, some of it was a little concerning. Some of it, I mean, I don't know. He's with a girlfriend. He feels comfortable with her. She is disgruntled. She's upset. They're not together anymore. So make of it, I suppose, what you will. Um, yeah, I'm gonna release it. Hold on. I'm gonna put it out after the live. I mean, make of it what you will. Take it with a grain of salt or whatever. Um, I don't know what to think about that. It's concerning, but I try to remember he's on substances or has been drinking during that whole time frame. So I don't know. This is going to be the afternoon trial. This is going to be the afternoon session of trial for July 14th on July 14th, 2022, Fabian Gonzalez's trial. I know Jessica is still hold on. Jessica is still testifying, and she had just started talking about the decapitation of Victoria.
And I came back and he's like, oh my God, what are we gonna do?
Okay.
You talked a little bit about, is it a little bit hard to,
It's kind of hard to remember exactly when. And also, I try to block this out for so long. So,
why?
Why?
You had to block it.
Because it's just sad. Like,
I think she's crying for herself. I don't think she's crying for Victoria. It is sad. It is messed up, but it's something that happened and she was way more involved than she likes to let on, in my opinion.
When this was happening, how come at any point you didn't run out to get the cops or tell a neighbor?
Hey, Ron.
911?
being that I'm a felon, no matter the situation, I would still be in the position I'm in because I'm a felon. They wouldn't believe the story I would tell. And automatically, with my run-ins with the officers or the law period, no matter what, I'm guilty. No matter what, I was going to come to prison. So it didn't matter if I got help or not. And at that point, I was afraid because I was threatened. And I didn't want nothing else to happen to anybody else because I seen he was real. He killed somebody, you know. So in all reality, the reason why I stayed is because that's my cousin.
Is that why you helped?
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about that bag, that trash bag that her body parts went in, and that it was twisted or turned.
It was just like twisted and
Hey, Lydia. Yes, Victoria was sexually assaulted and then decapitated on August, I believe it was the 23rd of 2016. We've been going through the interrogations and police narratives. I think I'm going to try to get some more police narratives when I get done going through all these audios that I've been dropping. And we're going over the trial now. The trial was in July of 2022. Yeah, they do have beef bologna, which is okay. Yeah, I'm definitely not a bologna fan. Bologna from my childhood was a lot different than it is today, but there ain't nothing that compares to that jailhouse bologna. I ain't never seen nothing like it in my life.
in that basket.
I'm going to show you States 93. Is this what you're talking about?
Yes.
Do you know what this black thing is?
No.
Do you know how this got there?
No.
Did you put this there?
No.
You talked a little bit earlier about putting clothes back on Victoria after you were or before you wrapped her. Do you remember what you put on her?
I believe pink pajama pants and a pink top.
I'm going to show you what's admitted as 169. Do you recognize this room?
Yes.
What room is this?
That's Victoria's room.
Do you recognize this container, this baby wipes
No.
container? Do you remember seeing that at all ever?
No.
Is that yours?
No.
Do you know how it got in this room?
No, I don't.
What about these books right here?
Those are my books, but those were in my purse. I don't know how they got in that room.
Did you take those in this room at all that day?
No.
Not even earlier?
No.
Where did you have those books that day? Tell us each room they were in.
They were in my purse. And
Okay, I tried to speed it up because it's like 3 hours. We're going to do as much as we can of this today. I know the morning session for the next day is only an hour and some change, so we might have to finish finish some of this tomorrow. These are the grandparents of Victoria. Michelle is in prison as well. I think she testifies as well. I'm wondering why they're not showing the pictures of Victoria's room.
In my purse, I kept it either in Matthew's room or next to the couch.
Hey, Miss America, good to see you. Thank you for being here, and thank you guys for your kind words. Y'all are so sweet.
And then when you were writing,
And when I was writing, I had it with me, and that was in Michelle's room and in the living room.
and in the living room?
Yes.
So you don't know how either of these items got here?
No.
Do you know?
So it's books and again, like a wipes container. That is weird. But like, I see a little stuffed animal over here. Interesting.
Know if Victoria's body or her arms or anything else was wiped down with anything?
No.
So once you kind of discovered, or once you discovered your cousin cutting her, tell me how your mental state shifted, or what happened?
I just got so scared, like frozen scared. I didn't know what to do. I was just like on autopilot. I was just going with whatever was happening because I was just scared.
Did you help him cut her in the middle?
No,
What did you do?
I didn't cut at all.
Did you let him keep going?
No,
Why not?
because I just figured it's a mess to cut up a body. Why don't we just get rid of the body, not make a bigger mess?
Did you take charge at that point?
Yes.
How so?
How so? I cleaned up the crime scene.
While you were cleaning, and when you say the crime scene, are you talking about her room?
Yes.
I'm going to show you states 158. This might be a little bit of a glare, but is this the carpet that you cleaned?
Yes.
How big of an area did you clean?
I would say about 2 feet by 4 feet.
And did the defendant know you were doing that?
Yes.
What was his?
So you do see some staining on the carpet here. I mean, there's some dark areas where it looks like it could be wet. I don't see any blood necessarily, but this is supposedly in what I do believe is Victoria's room. And I thought they said there was not blood in Victoria's room and that it didn't happen in Victoria's room. The anything that would leak blood anyway. That's interesting to find out that evidently there was something on the floor in Victoria's room and it had been scrubbed and cleaned.
His sort of role while you were doing that?
He was in the room with Michelle.
Were you both still trying to keep Michelle from finding out what happened at this point?
Objection, leading.
You're free to succeed. What was his role in Michelle's room?
To keep her from coming out.
Was there a lot of blood on this carpet?
2 puddles. It didn't seem like a lot at the time. I just wanted to get it up. I didn't realize how much was there or what. I just needed to get it up.
You said you were using a pole from the kitchen.
Yes.
What did you do with the stuff you were using?
I rinsed it out and I put it in the sink, I believe.
What about the knife? How many knives were there?
I believe there was 2.
What happened? Who had those?
I took them all in I believe I took them into the kitchen with the bowl and stuff, but I'm not too sure. I can't really remember.
Do you remember if there were any pieces of flesh on there?
No,
Did you clean them?
no.
Who cleaned them?
He must have cleaned them when he left the room because I don't remember cleaning the knives.
Hey Kimberly, I definitely get it. Thank you for coming in to hit the like though. That was really sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. I do plan on trying to switch it up at least one day this week and do either a Stearns live or another live on Lily and Jack, depending on if we get some more information out about that. Um, so we will switch it up probably by Wednesday at the latest. I'll probably try to do it about midweek. Nicole said, "I just don't understand how you could do all of that with a kitchen knife. Seems impossible." And I'm agreeing with you. That's a lot to do with kitchen knives. Like that's a lot to try to take on with just a kitchen knife. But I mean, you add methamphetamine to the mix, and who knows? Maybe it is possible. Kraka says, "This story makes the most sense to me about what happened. She has been sentenced, and there's no reward for this." And that's a good thing, and I'm glad you pointed that out. She has received her prison sentence. She took a plea deal, and part of her plea deal was that she would have to testify at the trial for Fabian. So really, she doesn't have a reason to lie other than to try to make herself look better in front of the public. But I mean, at this point, there's really no saving your reputation anyway. Um, and maybe I'm giving Fabian too much credit, you know? I don't know.
I remember taking the bowl back out, but not the knives.
Do you know how clothing items ended up from Victoria? Some of her clothing ended up in the kitchen trash can.
No.
Did anything leave the apartment during this night? Did either you or the defendant take any garbage out or paper towels or wipes or anything out?
No.
So once she's wrapped and put in the bathtub and you've cleaned the carpet, what was the plan that you had with the defendant?
We were gonna go dump the body up on Cherie's Road, up in the Mesa.
And what happened at that point?
I lost it.
Why?
Why? The fact of everything that happened to Victoria, I just couldn't handle it mentally, and I was afraid of coming back to prison, and I felt I was gonna go back to prison, so I might as well make it worth it. And I was gonna kill Fabian and Michelle as well,
Why would killing them make it worth it?
because I was already gonna go down for a murder.
That's interesting. Abellis, thank you so much for gifting 10 Speculation Station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Those went to Sweet as Taboo, Not the Same, Mama Turn, Pansy, Taisha Roman, Kimberly, Oh Snap Sharon, Treed Squirrel, Sweet Sativa, and Donna Young. If you guys were gifted from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you. And I will grab the Polar Express and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Abellis. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And then also, let me see, Tracy Blanton and Michael Green Chili Chicken became YouTube members. Thank you so very much for that. That was so sweet and supportive of y'all. I really appreciate that. I will grab the crazy train and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And then I think, yeah, Cara just came in and gifted 10 more. Thank you so much, Cara. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Those went to Hannah G, Alicia G, Ivy Push H, Betty White, Teresa Holland, Bunny X Productions, Cotton Carolyn, Debbie Fox, Brandy Gerstoff, and Paula Burns. If you were gifted from Cara and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Cara thank you. And thank you so much. That was so sweet of you, Cara. I really appreciate that. I will grab the Polar Express to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Cara, Abellis, Tracy, and Michael. Y'all are so sweet. I play Polar Express for Abellis and Cara because I think they told me a while back they like the Polar Express better. So when they gift, I always try to play those for them. Thank you guys so much. That was so awesome of you guys. You guys are so sweet and supportive. Um, Y'all are so sweet. I love our speculating family. I am gonna work on putting Basil on some merch, and I've got to figure out some kind of train thing, like a speculation station merch, too. So I am gonna be working on that some more this week. I'll say this week because I can't. I know I'll have time to do it at some point this week, so I'll let y'all know when I do that. You know why I do that? Y'all are so sweet. Thank you guys. That was so awesome. I really appreciate it.
Was there something that happened? When did you next see Michelle?
Huh?
When did you next see Michelle?
When I hit her with the iron.
Where was that?
As she was coming out of her room after I took Fabian's phone and Michelle's phone from them.
Let's back.
So, yeah, we're going to back up too before she backs up. She says that she decided to take Fabian and Michelle out because she knew she was already going to prison. So she was going to get rid of the witnesses. And you mean to tell me that, okay, so this child is deceased. You're the only one at the house. Cell phone records prove that Michelle and Fabian were away, and you didn't commit that homicide, even though you have sexual contact with a minor charge and I think she had a sexual abuse. Yeah, she had the sexual abuse, but I don't know if it was on a minor, but she did have sexual contact with a minor charge. And some kind of penetration charge, which is absolutely fucking sick. Um, but you didn't commit the homicide of Victoria, even though Michelle and Fabian were away at the time. However, you did decide to try to commit a homicide on Michelle and Fabian after the homicide of Victoria. But you didn't do the first one, but you were going to do the second two. Like, I don't believe that.
Back up and tell us a little bit about that. So tell us about taking their phones.
Um,
Where
and
were
when
they and how did you take them?
They were in Michelle's rooms and
Hang on one second. Hey, Miss Kelly. Okay, Miss Kelly, you need to speak up a little bit, and I think it was better when you were gonna holding your mask.
okay, like this.
So they were in her room. What were
Hey,
they doing?
squirrel.
They were just laying on the bed and I asked for their phones. They kind of looked at me a little crazy, but they still gave them to me. And at that point I put them in my back pocket and I hit I went to go put them in my purse and they were going to come out the room, like kind of coming out the room. And I asked Michelle if she believed in God. And she like kind of looked at me kind of crazy and I hit her with the iron.
Where was your purse that you were going to put this phone?
It was right next to there's a kitchen table and it was right next to the kitchen table. Like if I could just grab it and just and go out the door.
Let me show you states 82. Is this the purse that you're talking about?
No,
No?
no,
Did you put this purse in this laundry basket?
no.
Which purse are you talking about?
It was a Coach bag, a tan and brown Coach.
So I suppose this is the laundry basket where they say that Jessica's purse or bag was on top of the bag that contained, trigger warning, Victoria's organs. So I guess this is the bag where Victoria's organs were found, or this is the laundry basket. That's scary. I have a laundry basket like that, but I have two actually. Mine are white and like a green, like a aqua color. That's scary. It even looks like, I don't know if that's the reflection of the light or the color, but it looks like there's like blood on the bottom half of it. I don't know if you can see where it's like darker down here, but that could be because of the flash of the light, like it's reflecting off of this part, and down here is showing the actual color or something. It's probably optics, but hey, Lynn, good to see you. Oh, thank you, Cara. I can't see it right now, but I'm going to look at it and see if we can use it. I would love to use it.
So they come out of the room, and how were you feeling? Why did you decide that you were going to kill her?
Because that was the only way out. I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
Do you know if she knew at that point that Victoria was dead?
I believe I told her.
Did that upset you?
Yeah, because she didn't seem like she cared. And I don't know, I got really upset about it. And I started fighting with her, and Fabian took the iron from me and left the apartment.
Where did you hit her?
I hit her in the face.
How many times did you hit her with the iron?
I hit her about only once until Fabian took the iron from me.
Did you hit the defendant with the iron?
No, he grabbed it from me.
So is this,
Maybe I can put on the record to remark this exhibit to 243. So say both numbers. So that we remember.
should I leave this?
No, just say it. Just say it for now.
Okay, so we're gonna,
You know, that's a good point. Anders said we've seen some not so nice pictures of hampers now. Stephen Stern's boxers, for example, and now this hamper, like what's the deal with the hampers? Or it may add Maddie's heart to a tank top or a shirt with something else in memory of our stolen children. That's a good idea. The emoji we made for Maddie. Yeah. That girl said, "Get her, Tom. I got your back." Because Tom said, "Call the cops, you dumbass." When you say dumbass, that the dad from that '70s show saying dumbass pops in my head.
we had inadvertently marked two exhibits as 206, so I'm going to
Hey, Julie.
relabel this chart as 243. So I'm going to show you this big chart, and I'm going to put a little chart that's exactly the same just up here. And I'm going to let you look at that one. We'll just use this one. Where, so do you recognize, we've looked at this before, let me turn it this way. So, this is Michelle's room,
Yes.
and,
Can you use the mic?
yes, sorry. Where was
Yep,
she
Vera.
standing
Hey, Bella.
approximately when you hit her with the iron?
She was coming out of her door, and there's like a shelf right here.
Right in here,
Yes.
where my fingers are?
Yes.
Okay. Did that shelf get disturbed?
I believe it did. I'm not too sure. I just know where I started fighting.
Where did Fabian grab the iron from you?
A little bit further towards the kitchen.
Towards the kitchen?
Towards the kitchen.
And what did he do with the iron?
He took it with him and he ran out the door.
Which door?
The front door.
And then what did you do?
Me and Michelle continued fighting into the kitchen until I couldn't fight no more. I ran out of energy, and she ended up leaving the apartment, and I stayed there waiting. And I was gonna leave the apartment, but then I realized we never got rid of her body, so I got scared, and I lit the corner of the blanket, or the sheet,
You lit the corner of the sheet that was on
wrapped
the room?
around Victoria.
Let me back up a little bit. How long did this fight go on for?
Maybe a couple minutes.
When you, like, when this fight started, you said you thought you told Michelle that Victoria's dead?
Yes.
Did you think before that she knew?
I kind of thought she knew because like what's going on, why does Fabian keep leaving, you know? But Michelle she just had a weird demeanor that night. Cause even I was sitting on the couch and I was talking to my mom and she was just like watching me talk to my mom. So I didn't know.
I don't believe that. You wouldn't have looked at her and said, "By the way, your daughter's dead," if you thought that she knew that she was dead. Like that doesn't make sense because you told her that to make her upset and to hurt her even more in that moment. And if you thought she already knew that, there's no reason for you to say it.
Know if she knew or if she didn't know. So in my head, I thought she knew.
Tell me about
Hey,
your
Christina.
level of intoxication at this point, or what's happening to you, kind of right around the time of this fight.
When you come down from methamphetamines and you've been up for a while, it's like your energy, everything, you just drop. Like I just ran out of energy. Literally, I just felt exhausted, like I could just fall asleep, and I was just exhausted. Everything that happened, it was just exhausting. I couldn't focus. I couldn't do anything else but just let go.
When she ran out, did you gather anything up?
Actually I did. I grabbed some CDs or DVDs or something that was right there in Matthew's room on a shelf. Threw those in my purse. Had the phones already. I had the Anchors to the Soul book, I believed, in my purse. I grabbed the car keys and I believe I got Fabian's wallet.
Where were the car keys?
The car keys were in my pocket.
And then,
Hey,
is
Jen.
that when you set the fire?
Yes.
What happened then?
I set the fire and it seemed like it got real smoky right away. And the smoke alarm went off and I started panicking. I took down, I think, 1 or 2 smoke alarms. And by that time the officer was at the door. I opened the door to the officer, seen it was an officer, and shut the door. And that's when I slid off the second story.
Hey Mallory. I saw Mallory, Genevieve, Christina also came in, and so I wanted to make sure I got all of y'all and say hey to you. It's good to see you all.
Why did you shut the door on the officer?
It was just a panic. I guess it's a fight or flight mode. I'm afraid of cops, especially in a situation like that. I don't look at them as help. I look at them as a threat.
Once you got outside, were you detained?
Actually, I actually walked up to the officers with my hands out, and then I was slammed down on the ground and detained.
Did you, once you were on the ground, where were you sitting?
They picked me up and made me walk up to the.
Well, before that, were you sitting down for a little bit? In the grass, do you remember?
I was on my face in the grass.
Do you remember, do you know if at that point you told, just right at the beginning, if you told the officers that Victoria was dead?
No,
Why not?
I was afraid.
What was your response to it?
I was afraid.
Did you tell them that there had been this other man that came to the apartment?
Yes.
Tell us about doing that. So from the time they stand you up and start moving you, tell us what happened.
They asked me all who was in the apartment, and I let them know the guy. They're like, well, who? I didn't know a name, and they kept saying who. So I just said anything that came to my mind, and I said La Corte. And
Can you say that slower? You said what?
La Corte,
What does that mean to you?
like the crazy. And
So we finally got an answer. She said she just said whatever came to mind, and that was La Cote, which she said means the crazy. I want to see how it's spelled. We're at 1726. I'm going to take it back to 1719. Oh, it's showing it as Lakota, like Lakota indigenous people, I would think.
Can you say that slower? You said what?
La Corte,
What does that mean to you?
like the crazy.
Hey, Boomer.
And I knew that if I gave my name or something, that they would actually get me up off the ground and let me just go ahead and book me.
Did you go to the hospital?
Yes.
Did you tell anyone at the hospital about there being someone else?
No. After that, I asked for an attorney.
Do you remember telling them what they should do?
Yeah, that they need to go out and look for the real killer.
How come you didn't tell the police about this man asking for the defendant?
Because I was trying to protect him.
Why?
He's my cousin.
After you were arrested,
I don't think I know she's gotten a plea deal and like she's already been sentenced, but I don't think she's trying to protect anybody but her damn self, in my opinion.
did you tell your friends or family about what happened inside the apartment?
Kind of, sort of, I did, but I've never told them the story.
Why not?
For one, I feel like when it's time for me to tell them what happened, it'll come, and I have to let all this get settled before I could say anything. And just some things are better left unsaid.
Going back to the time that you were living at Michelle's before the murder happened, do you know if the defendant ever had her EBT or food stamp card?
Yeah,
Do you know if he had her permission to use that card?
yeah. We went shopping at Walmart.
Did he have permission to use it?
I believe so. She shouldn't have never gave it to him if he wasn't going to use it.
Was he working, the defendant?
No.
Where was he getting money from?
I guess from her.
After you told Fabian, the defendant, about what happened to Victoria,
Let's have you adjust the microphone and move it towards me a little bit, like slightly.
Oops. Like that.
Slide it this way, right there, and angle it towards her, so it's more facing your face when you're talking. Okay, let's try that.
after, you testified earlier that you told the defendant, pulled him to the side after you knew, when he came home, when you knew Victoria was dead, and that you told him what this man said. Do you remember that?
Yes.
What did he say to you?
He kind of looked at me like, you're freaking crazy, you know? And then I told him, well, go check. And then he went and checked Victoria and then came back and he's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? I'm like,
Did you?
So Christine said, but Victoria was said to have HPV, so she was lying about other men on POF. I have a lot to catch up on. I apologize if this has been discussed. No, you're good. There is an issue with her testimony. I think we should be able to, hold on. We should be able to go right back to that. Let me pull up this one little news segment clip real quick, and I'll show you what they said afterwards about what Michelle had said. So we're going to watch this real quick. This is from KOAT.
Fabian Gonzalez and Michelle Martens are no longer charged with the murder of 10-year-old Victoria Martens.
We were forced to consider the possibility that Michelle Martens had falsely incriminated herself and Fabian Gonzalez in this heinous act.
Target 7 looked through the transcripts of the interview Martens had with police after the girl's death, and we found some glaring contradictions.
The detective asks her, how did Victoria die? Do you know? Michelle responds by saying she tasted the meth that was on the table. Later in that same interview, an investigator asks again, how did they kill her, Michelle? How did they kill Victoria? This time, Michelle says by stabbing her. They ask her once more later, how did they kill your daughter? And she says by raping her. The investigators didn't understand that answer, and she says they covered her mouth. Even the police asking the questions admit they don't understand why Martens is admitting to horrible crimes. They told her, I guess sometimes I don't understand why you'll tell the truth on these big, huge things, but on little things you try to lie, and it makes no sense to me. Prosecutors hired a forensic psychiatrist named Dr. Michael Wellner, who said a combination of trauma, drug abuse, and suggestive questioning by police made Michelle Martens give them false statements.
She made admissions she felt were separating herself from the murder and the dismemberment, but in fact, she was placing herself there.
So that kind of explains Michelle's testimony a little bit and why she said some of the things they said. That's what the press said anyway about it afterwards. Okay, let me go here, I do believe. I think it's this one. Yeah.
Did you have the conversation with him? Were you asked him what he did to make this person come there?
I saw that Tony, Param, Mandy, and I think that's it. I saw that y'all came in and I wanted to make sure to say hey to y'all. If I missed anybody, hello and thank you for being here.
And he didn't give me an answer. He said he didn't know.
How was he acting?
Scared at that moment.
When you went to the hospital, do you know if they did a drug test on you?
No.
You don't know?
No.
Your Honor, the state would move for admission of states 223. I don't believe there's an objection.
No objection. 223 would be admitted.
So may I publish this?
You may.
So, Ms. Kelly, this is your toxicology results that shows a positive for amphetamines. Is that a surprise to you?
No.
Looking back on this day, the whole day, from the 12:30 time when you and the defendant were doing meth in Michelle's bathroom, all the way until he gets home and you tell him that Victoria is dead. Looking back, do you think his behavior was strange that day?
Yeah. I don't know why he kept leaving and coming back. Why didn't he ask me to go with him or take me to my mom's? Or it was just like he just wanted me to be there.
Did you find it strange the way that Victoria was left with you?
Yeah, because I was never.
Now this is interesting. I never thought about that before because every other day they did say that she had been out on the town visiting with friends. Now, considering that she was doing meth that day, she might not have wanted to go anywhere, and he was trying to provide her a place to kind of chill out and just, like trip out, I guess, or like wig out. But it is weird that they left Victoria with her because she was doing meth, and they knew that. That is kind of weird, to her credit.
Never even told about it. If I was aware that I was watching a child, I would have tried to sober up or at least, you know what I mean? But I wasn't aware. I wasn't ever told to go pick her up from a bus stop. I was never told that she's outside playing. If that was the case, I wouldn't be inside tweaking, going from window to door. I probably would have been out there or had her come inside where I felt that she would be safe.
Was Michelle around during the time that you were acting paranoid and talking about these things coming from the TV?
Yes.
May I have a motion?
You may.
So it does, unless you get what they call stuck, which is where you're basically stuck looking out a window or studying the doors because you're concerned that somebody's going to come in and see you. So I guess they took a break. We're going to skip ahead. Hold on.
Do you need a break for that, Mr. Earth, or do you want?
Okay, so they just passed the witness to the defense. So now it's going to start on Fabian's defense attorney questioning her. Of course, they take a break before the defense starts questioning her. So we'll come to right here. Now, this is Fabian's lawyer that's going to question her. Hey, Sam, good to see you.
Ms. Kelly, yesterday you were emotional, would you agree, when you took the stand?
Yes.
You told the jury that you were crying because you grew up with Fabian and you loved him.
Yes.
Remember saying that?
Yes.
Shouldn't you be mad at Fabian for causing or permitting Victoria's death?
I am angry with him,
And
but that does not change the way you feel about somebody. You can't just take a whole lifetime away and not care.
did you ever think about crying for Victoria and what happened to her?
Believe me, I cry all the time.
Victoria was the innocent child, wasn't she? Not Fabian.
Yes.
Your mom told you to do the right thing and come home, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Tom said, could you imagine going to their family reunion? I could not. I couldn't. Hey, Tracy. Good to see you. Yeah, they did find unknown male DNA on Victoria. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mandy. I actually know there's people in my family too that have changed after use of substances, specifically that I think that because if you think about how that's made, people put a lot of chemicals together to make it, and like you can't get a lot of the chemicals they used to use in it when they would call it like actual dope, like specifically like Nazi dope is what they would call it. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that word. Forgive me, a trigger warning. But like now, like a lot of it was like farm, from what I understand, a lot of the chemicals they used to use to make it was like stuff you used for farming. And they banned those chemicals and things because people were using it to make that. And so now you have to make it with like, I was watching a documentary and this guy had like a fire extinguisher and a bunch of Sudafed and like lithium batteries and so it's very I could see somebody messing it up very easily and then giving somebody a substance that could mess them up for the rest of their life, and it does happen, unfortunately. It's really sad. And I'm sorry, sweetheart. I know that's hard.
But if the Mexican man didn't really happen, the truth would mean 200 years, not 44, wouldn't it?
I never said a Mexican man.
Didn't you tell the police that this man had a Mexican accent?
Yes, but a lot of people have different accents. I could have been wrong if it was Mexican or not, and I never said it was a Mexican.
Okay. But if this man never came into the apartment, the truth would be 200 years, not 44, correct?
No, because it would have never happened if that man would have never entered the apartment. We wouldn't be here today.
Under your plea agreement, you earned 50% good time because your involvement in the child abuse was considered not violent, correct?
Correct.
And so that 44 comes down to 22 years total if you get your good time, right?
Yes, that's all my good behavior.
And 6 years of good credit so far. You're almost 6 years next month.
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance. Overruled.
You basically have 16 years to go, right?
I'm calculating.
So this picture is one that a lot of people have had problems with, and I see it now. She's wearing heavy makeup in this picture. So if this was on Michelle's profile, maybe that's why men would seek her out. I don't know, but she does appear to be wearing heavy makeup. She also, I don't know if it's the way the picture is, but it looks like she has a black eye. Interesting.
More like 17.
Okay, 17. Now, your testimony yesterday and today is not the first time you blamed your beloved cousin Fabian for this murder, is it?
I didn't actually blame him, but he is a cause of it. If that man never came looking for him, that little girl will still be alive.
Do you remember telling your mom that Fabian and Michelle got mad?
Objection, hearsay?
Response to hearsay?
So, Squirrel, oh, look, a squirrel said, wait, did he say she got good time? Didn't you say she had more charges since she got locked up? So she has been locked up a couple of times. She had gotten charges since she had been locked up the first time. I can't remember if she had any more since she had been locked up, but yeah, she gets good time. Like, she serves half her amount of time. Um, for good behavior and for her testimony against Fabian. Mainly what he's trying to prove right now is that she gets credit for testifying against Fabian. So he's trying to discredit her testimony by saying that she's only doing this basically to save her own ass. Hey, Megan, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Heather, good to see you. Heather said, yeah, makes sense about the green. However, there's got to be serious mental issues, I assume. I think so. I don't know how anyone could do the things that happened in that house without having some serious kind of mental issue.
Confrontation, prior inconsistent statement.
Approach?
We're approaching the bench. For a hot minute. Okay.
So Stanford, first the question.
I think they heard all of that.
No, they couldn't not.
Do you remember talking to your mom 2 days after you were arrested in this case in a jail call from you to her? Do you remember talking to her?
Yeah.
And you and your attorney, he's, without going into your conversations, you've had an opportunity to read all of these transcripts and reports and DNA reports and everything in the case, haven't you?
The majority of everything, yes.
All right. And so, do you remember telling your mom on August the 26th?
Objection, same objection. She needs to be given an opportunity to explain.
Ask her if she gave a different statement.
Did you give a different statement?
A different statement of, I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither do I.
He said, neither do I. Well, we're fighting again, and then they take a break. So let's skip the break. Oh, they are going hard on this defense attorney. This is interesting. I like when the opposing person questions people.
Thank you, Ted. So let's back up a little. You remember...
So she was charged for sexual contact or something. She basically let another inmate get assaulted or was helping another inmate get assaulted with a mop handle. That was a previous charge that I do believe she had just gotten out of prison on 7 days before this happened. And there was a sexual contact with a minor, and I think the penetration charge was to do with the mop handle that happened when an inmate that she was locked up with got assaulted with a mop. So that's I haven't seen anything since she's been in prison on this charge, but I could be wrong. I probably should look it up. We'll probably look it up before we go today. She's a registered sex offender and a PREA violator. Yeah.
I believe that you spoke to your mom at 11:43 on August 26th.
I don't know the time, but I did know I did call her.
Okay. And you knew those jail calls from inside the jail out, that they were recorded, right?
Yes.
And did you tell your mother something that is inconsistent with what you told the jury yesterday and today?
Not that I believe.
Do you remember saying, I was going to the house, I was packing away stuff, and Fabian and them got mad. And then I don't know what happened after that, okay? So that's all I even know. Fabian and them ran outside. I saw the cops were coming after me, so I jumped off the balcony, okay? Did you say that to your mom?
Honestly, I don't recall.
Well,
If you could show me the transcript, to refresh my memory. It's been a long time.
well, did you tell your mom that you didn't know what happened?
Yes.
All right. And why didn't you tell your mom that your beloved cousin wasn't the one who murdered Victoria?
I didn't say anybody did. I didn't say anything like that on the phone because I know it was a recorded phone call.
Well, I think you'd agree with me. You were not protecting Fabian when you were saying what you said to your mom, that you didn't know how it happened. You weren't
Hey, Cindy.
protecting him, were you?
I was protecting my mother.
Yourself.
Your mother you were protecting.
Yes.
Now, do you remember talking to Roxanne Cordova when she visited you in the jail?
Roxanne never visited me.
You don't remember Roxanne and Sherry coming to visit you at the jail?
No, because those two don't even get along.
Did you tell Roxanne?
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
They're going to object on hearsay, I would think. All right, we're coming back now.
Well, do you remember talking to Roxanne about what happened?
No, sir.
Do you remember talking to Roxanne?
I talked to Roxanne on telephone calls, but she would never visit me.
All right, so it might have been by a telephone call that you had with Roxanne, where she wanted to know what happened. Do you remember that conversation?
No, she would never ask me anything like that.
Didn't you tell Roxanne that you took Victoria out to Fabian and Michelle wrapped in a blanket, handed them the baby and said you were going back inside to sleep? Do you remember telling her that?
No.
Do you remember telling her that you woke up in the middle of the night, saw Victoria dead, and attacked them for killing her?
I never talked to her about anything.
So he just said, do you remember that you said you woke up in the middle of the night, saw Victoria dead, and attacked them for killing her? That's an interesting twist. And if he's saying this, I'm assuming he has it on jail calls. Thank you, Heather. I'm glad that you're here. I appreciate it. Oh, Chilling. Thank you for saying thank you. That was so awesome and sweet of you. Yeah, they have fixed the sound though, and that's good.
Any of this.
Okay. Do you remember visiting Cherie Barella in the jail?
Yes.
And do you remember telling her, and who else was there with her?
I don't recall.
Okay. But do you remember telling her what happened?
I gave her a brief story of what she assumed, but
Now,
I did not tell her anything that happened that night.
so you gave her a brief story that she assumed. But didn't you tell her what happened inconsistent with what you told the jury?
No, sir.
You don't remember telling her that you asked Victoria, after you saw Fabian and Michelle outside, that you talked to Victoria and asked her, do you want to go with your mom?
No,
You never told that to Cherie.
no, never told her that.
Do you remember telling Cherie that you couldn't find Victoria's shoes, so you wrapped her in a blanket and took her down the steps?
I did tell her that.
Okay. Did you tell Cherie that after that you went to sleep and you were awakened hearing banging?
Yes,
Okay, so you did tell her that.
I did tell Cherie this.
And that's, according to what you told Cherie, that's when you found Victoria dead, and that's why you attacked Fabian and Michelle with the iron, right?
No, no,
So the only part of that you remember is that you woke up hearing banging.
no. I told her, she asked me why the little girl wasn't wearing shoes when I carried her down. I said she didn't have them on. That's why I was carrying her.
But you were having a conversation with Victoria when actually she was dead, right?
I never even told Cherie that she was deceased at that moment.
But you did tell her that you spoke to Victoria and asked her if she wanted to go with her mom.
No, I didn't.
Now, when you were growing up with Fabian and his brothers, that's when they'd say, oh, chaos, chaos, or if they'd get into a fight, that's the first thing Fabian would say is, I'm going to go get my brothers, chaos, chaos. Is that true?
Yes.
And this involvement was really
I'm gonna go get my brother's chaos, chaos. That's interesting.
in middle school, maybe up through 8th grade, right?
No. He used to say it when he was an adult too.
But you never really
So, Scratch the Paint just pointed out that she just contradicted herself, and that is going to be his objective, to make her contradict herself and to basically discredit her entire story. Hey, Stephanie, it's good to see you. Your sister has the same. My mom used to do it. I don't know. I used to see my mom, like when she was stressed out, she would do it while she was driving down the road, and I guess I just picked it up from her. But like, yeah, it sucks. I do it in my sleep. I was saying it though, because y'all were talking about hair regrowth, but I've got to find something to make my hair grow again. And I've heard to try pumpkin seed oil, which I feel like I could make that. Like, I make a lot of like remedies and things. They say rosemary and things good for hair regrowth, but I got to figure out something. Thank you. Sarah's going ballistic behind bars right now. Is she really? Sarah is a parody of grandiosity. I love that, Anders. Okay, Hannah. Good to see you, love.
paid attention because you just thought it was nonsense.
A lot of things Fabian say is nonsense.
All right. You didn't take it seriously when he would get all angry and say things like that, right?
Right.
Now, so you became pregnant with Tiffany.
Objection, Your Honor. Can we avoid names, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
His initials. Thank you.
Yes. You became pregnant with your older daughter when you were 16 and eventually moved in with her father, your boyfriend Noah, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then a couple of years later, you gave birth to your younger son.
Correct.
And you just turned 18 when you gave birth to him, right?
Correct.
Now, were you aware Fabian's brothers joined the Marines and the Army? They grew up and left and got their life together?
I know Stevie did.
All right. Did you know Joseph joined the military too?
I know he joined the military.
Now, you've been incarcerated in and out since you were 18 years old, correct?
No.
Do you remember giving a pretrial interview by Google Meet or Zoom in August of 2020? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And do you remember when Mr. Moy was asking you questions and
Hey.
you were answering those?
Sorry, the kids were asking me a question. Stephanie and Dustin Gonzalez, thank you so much for becoming a member. And hey, Stolen Spirits, MMWG, good to see you. I really appreciate you becoming a member, Stephanie and Dustin Gonzalez. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I'll grab the crazy train and pick you up on the way to Speculation Station.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was so sweet of you. I really appreciate that. It's good to see you, love. Hey, Jeepers Creepers. Chilling says, after my total knee replacement, they had me put collagen powder on my incision. I had to stop. It burnt me, so I guess none for me. But I think I had a reaction. Collagen powder, I've heard that that's good too. I need to figure out something. Okay.
Questions?
Yes.
Do you remember telling him, page 32, line 8, I've been incarcerated in and out since...
Objection, Your Honor. First, hearsay, and two, this is outside the scope of the priors.
I've heard about prenatal vitamins, but like even when I was pregnant, they would make me so sick. Like I couldn't even take prenatal vitamins while I was sick. While I was pregnant. I like being able to skip past the breaks. Hey, Jeep. Good to see you.
Now, isn't it true that years went by where you had no contact with Fabian?
Well, I was incarcerated from maybe 27 to the age of 30.
Okay. He never wrote to you?
No.
You never wrote to him?
No.
He never visited you?
No.
Family visited you, but he didn't, right?
Right.
You never called him?
Actually, I talked to him while I was in prison on a prison call while I was incarcerated for my trafficking.
One time?
Maybe 1 or 2 times.
Over those years?
Over those years.
Now, you got out of prison on Monday the 15th of August, just 8 days before Victoria's murder. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Monday the 15th?
Yes.
And you had you took a bus to Albuquerque and Cherie picked you up.
Yes.
And you went with her and her kids to a dentist appointment. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And then from there you went to her mother's.
Correct.
At some point, you were babysitting Cherie's kids for her before Lori was going to pick you up. Do you remember that?
Yes, that was Wednesday when me and Fabian went over there.
And things were going pretty good for you all in all, weren't they?
Actually, they were going pretty great.
Now, isn't it true that you watched Cherie's kids, and I believe that that you were gonna watch one of the other kids? You were supposed that they wanted to come sleep with you at Fabian, but you said no, you didn't really have a place for them. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And who was that?
I was talking to Cherie's oldest daughter.
Okay. And Roxanne trusted you with her kids, even with your history using drugs, right?
Roxanne only has 1 child. I think you got somebody confused because Roxanne doesn't even take care of her own child.
Okay.
Isn't
Well,
it?
we'll come back to that. Now,
Excuse me. I would be extremely worried, concerned, afraid, and just stressed to the max to find out that this woman was babysitting my child. But I mean, after, this homicide was committed, but even okay, let's consider her previous charges: sexual contact with a minor, penetration, which could possibly be from the inmate in jail, that with the mop handle situation. And she's referencing in the week that she was out of prison, um, babysitting people's children. Like, who are these people that know that she just got out of prison for trafficking of substances and has these charges and things in SA, and they're just letting her babysit their children? Like, I'm glad that I think it was definitely a methamphetamine induced psychosis of some sort, but there's something underlying that's evil there to begin with, and you're just letting this woman babysit your children? Like, I don't know. I got a big damn problem with that. That girl said the lawyer sounds like the teacher from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah. Okay, but they are obviously not good judges of character. That you got a point there, heathen. You do. I wouldn't let her babysit my goldfish either. My stuffed goldfish that's full of cotton. I have a goldfish. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, there's a YouTube channel called The Y-Files, and he has this goldfish. He does that one does like government conspiracies and stories of aliens and like MK Ultra and MI6 and things like that. And anyway, he has this stuffed goldfish. It's actually where I got the idea to do a basil stuffy, but I forget, the heckler fish is what he's called. And like you squeeze him and actually I can squeeze him and show you. He sounds like this. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it? Anyway, I wouldn't let her babysit my stuffed fish.
now David Chavez, that's that uncle, not by blood, but you call him Uncle David.
Yeah.
Now, the illegal activity, you sold him your old EBT card, right?
Actually, I went over there with Fabian. Fabian tried to sell my EBT card to him for money for gas. Fabian didn't know I had money, so I never gave him my PIN number. I was going to pay him back. He got mad because I was going to give him the money back, and I didn't want to give him the PIN.
Now, this was your EBT card that you had even
my
back
gosh.
before you.
I was trying to type in chat. It's called the Y-Files on YouTube, but my StreamYard was just like, nope, not today. I don't know what just happened there. Hold on. Didn't mean to. See, that's what I get for getting off topic. I shouldn't have done that. All right. We're at 137.39. I'm going to take it to 137.12 for anything y'all might have missed.
You sold him your old EBT card, right?
Actually, I went over there with Fabian. Fabian tried to sell my EBT card to him for money for gas. Fabian didn't know I had money.
Hey, Michelle.
So I never gave him my PIN number. I was going to pay him back. He got mad because I was going to give him the money back, and I didn't want to give him the PIN.
Now, this was your EBT card that you had even back before you were incarcerated, right?
Correct.
And you kind of swindled David because he bought the EBT card, but you wouldn't give him the PIN, right?
Right.
Now, you and your mom, her name's Lori Collins, right?
Correct.
Okay. You and your mom went to watch your younger son play a middle school football game on Saturday afternoon.
No, we actually went, it was a middle school game. It was at Bullhead Park.
So it's YAFL, right?
Deviant, yes.
And what grade was he in?
So her son, the game they went to was for YAFL, Yaffle, which I would think stands for Youth Something Football League because she said it was football. Youth or like something area football league. Interesting.
I understand it wasn't school sponsored, but about how old was he when you
Right,
went to
Tom?
watch his football game?
He was about 11, 12.
Okay. And Crystal called you.
Speak up a little bit closer.
Did Crystal call you?
I don't recall.
Do you remember telling her how your son's team had won?
Oh yeah, she did. She ended up calling, and me and Fabian were talking to her.
Do you remember telling Crystal in a tape recorded call that you rented a room from your homegirl?
Correct.
And the homegirl you were referring to was Michelle.
Correct.
So you were actually renting the room from her, weren't you?
It was her apartment.
And how much were you gonna pay, 50 bucks a month?
Just $50 just for the month. I was already had a job lined up so I could get my own apartment.
And once you had your apartment, you'd have enough money to be able to go forward.
Yes, sir.
Now, did you actually pay that 50, or was it just something that you were willing to pay?
I believe I paid more than 50.
Okay.
I didn't give him a $50 bill and say, here's for rent. But every time he would ask me for money, for gas or anything, on buying cigarettes, I would buy hygiene for the house. I will give him 20 bucks here, 20 bucks there.
So you gave them more than $50 every time he asked for gas, hygiene, cigarettes, anything. You were handing them money, yet you were fresh out of prison, had only been out for 7 days when this homicide was committed, and you roll out of prison and you got all this mother trucking money that you're just throwing out left, right, and the third. You gave them more than $50 for rent by purchasing gas, cigarettes, hygiene items, and all of that. Like, what were you putting gas? Like, I mean, I'm sure. Are you going to say that, like, oh, well, I asked them to take me to my friend's house, therefore I gave them gas money? Because that's not the same. That's you providing the gas to go where your ass wants to go. But I have a lot of questions about where all this money was coming from because I do feel like it's correlated to the homicide.
In all reality, I believe I paid him for the rent and I stayed there for the weekend.
All right. And things were a little tight money-wise. He didn't have a job until the next Wednesday, right?
Well, I didn't know if he had a job at all, but I know he does do side jobs.
Right. And your job at, what was it, Church's Fried Chicken, that wasn't going to start till Wednesday.
That wasn't supposed to start. I was waiting for an email to hit my phone by Wednesday.
Okay. And that's the same place where Cherie worked.
Yes, while I was babysitting Cherie's kids, I got on her laptop and put in my application. She talked to her boss, and her boss told me to come in that Friday morning for an interview at 9 o'clock.
Now, your kids and Victoria all had sort of a sleepover at Michelle's apartment Saturday, didn't they?
No,
They didn't come and sleep over?
they slept over, but not to go sleep over with Michelle's kids. They came to spend the weekend with me, and that was their intentions.
Yeah, they wanted to be with you, but didn't they spend the night where Victoria and Michelle and Fabian and you and both of your kids were all in one place?
Well, yeah.
Are you serious, Anders? Rex Heuermann's wife used food stamps when she got food, even though Rex Heuermann was like an architect in freaking New York City. Like, I saw an apartment he did, and it was the most beautiful freaking apartment I'd ever seen in my life. Like, it was real wood inside. It was from like the late 1800s. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. And you mean to tell me that man probably got millions of dollars and she's using food stamps? That's crazy. That is insane. Never in my life would I have thought of that. Or, guessed that. I see a lot of you are saying that you heard that. Wow. That is insane. Yeah, their house was just a little shack, but I think he was stacking money somewhere. You can't be an architect in New York City of all places. And I'll have to show y'all that apartment. I'll see if I can pull it up real quick. But that apartment was insane.
All right, so you wouldn't call that a sleepover?
No.
All right. Now, Victoria was playing and at the swimming pool. That was one of the activities you did, right?
No.
You don't remember going to the swimming pool?
I didn't go to the swimming pool, neither did Victoria. My two children went down to the swimming pool to check it out before Victoria and Matthew came home.
And you're saying Victoria didn't play with her playmates?
They played for a little bit in the room while my daughter put the mattress back on her bed, but no, they really didn't play.
She wasn't outside with her scooter playing with other kids?
No, because that night they showed up, I believe, at 9 o'clock at night, and at that time it's too late for them to be outside. My kids were on the balcony with me.
Now, you testified yesterday that Fabian broke into cars at the casino. Is that true?
That is true.
But doesn't the Downs Casino have video surveillance?
Yes, it does.
There weren't any police reports of auto burglaries.
No, because they caught him barely getting into the vehicle, and they asked him if it was his vehicle. And he was, oh no, sorry, sir. And he's like, well, you need to get out of here.
So they made him go.
They made us leave the premises.
Right.
I'll
So there
have to
was
find
no
it
auto
later.
burglary to report, right?
No. It was stopped before it happened.
Now, does that attempted burglary have anything to do with the murder of Victoria?
No. Well, not that I know of.
Now, there was a barbecue in your honor, a coming home barbecue on Sunday, right?
Yes.
I mean, I would have to agree. At one point, I did get food stamps and sold them. And yeah, I only usually sold about half of them because we did have to eat something. But yeah. I had somebody that would give me the full price because they still didn't have to pay taxes on it. But that's from a long time ago, and I don't want to continue talking about crimes I've committed. Chilling said, yet her kids are alive. Don't get me wrong, I'm so glad they are. But you do this to another little girl, right? And she's the only one in the apartment with this unknown male. It just has no money but going to a casino. Good point, Tom. That's a good catch. Thank you for that. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a lot of people, it's like half the price. You 200 in food stamps would be 100 in cash. We had a hookup though. We would get the amount we sold because they didn't have to pay the taxes, and they were like, regardless, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars on food, and if you let me use your card, I'm not going to have to pay taxes, and it helps you out. But we were using it for substances, of course. Bad Girl said, but his income didn't count for the household. I don't know. I mean, unless they're not, you're talking about Rex and his wife, I would think unless they're not technically legally married, because it should have, unless she was botching the system somehow. But Kara pointed out they knew how to work the system. That her son is on the spectrum. She doesn't think he's high functioning, but not low functioning either, and they were able to get assistance from the state. So I had a friend years ago who spent a whole paycheck on those bar scratch tickets and didn't win a penny. Oh my goodness, that's awful. Someone asked me, can I sell you food stamps? If they said 100, I got 200 in stamps because you can only buy food. Yeah, a lot of times that's what it is.
And Everybody was pulling for you at there, and even those who couldn't come. True?
True.
You explained to your sister that you got some of your personal property back, right?
I don't recall.
Did you have to get permission for your two kids to come over to Michelle's apartment?
Yes.
Didn't Amanda ask you if her daughter could spend the night with you at Fabian's?
Yes.
All right, so that's the person whose daughter was going to spend the night. But you explained that at least that night wasn't a good night because there really aren't enough beds or anything for her daughter to come, right?
Correct.
But Amanda would have been fine with you being with her daughter
Yes.
because you're good with kids.
Yes, I am.
You're very protective of them.
Yes, I am.
Now, Amanda and Fabian, they've sort of had some, they're sort of cousins as well, right? Or are they on two different sides of your family?
I believe we're all cousins.
All right.
Fabian is my first cousin, and his mom and my dad are brothers and sisters, so
Okay.
that's his cousin.
And then Amanda, how does she relate to you?
She's actually a second cousin.
All right, but those two were not getting along. That's fair to say, isn't it?
That is fair to say.
And you talked a little bit about Amanda punching Fabian, giving him a black eye. Is that a good way of putting it?
She split his eye open, yes.
Right. And you were really the peacekeeper in that fight.
I tried to be.
You tried to separate.
Okay, so she just referenced Amanda getting in the fight with him at the barbecue that we've heard about, and that's how he has that shiner, that big old black eye that we see in all the mugshot photos of him. Amanda is the name of the baby mama, so it's definitely the baby mama. I mean, I feel confident in saying it was the baby mama who punched him in the face at the barbecue right before all of this happened. Jen's calling her the instigator, and I think so. I think she instigated a lot of things as well.
Them and stop the fight.
Right, Joy?
Correct.
Because you're really not a violent person at all, are you?
No.
Now, when Fabian was saying he's coming back with his brothers and chaos and all of that in texts, you didn't take them seriously, did you?
Honestly, I was more afraid of him calling the cops. That's what Amanda asked me to make sure he didn't do.
All right. Because as you testified, when you're on parole, you've got a pretty short, zero tolerance, they say. You can't.
I wasn't on parole, so.
You
no.
weren't, you paroled inside then?
Yes, I finalized my number inside.
Okay. But you were still worried if the police got called that you could end up somehow being in trouble even though you didn't do anything wrong?
No, I was just trying to defuse my cousins from fighting because at the end of the day, they're still going to talk and they're still going to love each other and they'll get over it.
All right. Now, you left with Willie and went over to see the twins, right?
Right.
And the meth that you used on the day in question came from the twins, didn't it?
Yes.
Now, do you think that fist fight had anything to do with Victoria's murder?
At the time, no. As I look back, I don't know what could have.
Well, didn't you tell the officer that that's what you thought was the reason for the man to come over is this fight between Amanda and Fabian?
I never said that to no officer.
No? Do you remember being asked whether you talked to anyone about whether the drugs from the twins had bath salt in them? Do you remember those questions?
Yes, and I said there could be. Drugs sometimes are cut with many different things,
And
but the potency in methamphetamines could cause an hallucination too.
right, and you've seen people when you're incarcerated. You've seen people that have taken bath salts and freak out.
I mean, yeah, bath salts, people are probably going to freak out. That's what they call the zombie drug. That's what the man was on who ate his friend's face off in Florida. That's the first time we heard about bath salts. And I'm with Indy. Like shoving a mop handle isn't violent. Like being involved in that incident where a mop handle is shoved into another inmate at the jail, that's not a violent offense. Sexual contact with a minor, those aren't violent offenses because those happened before this. Is she? I didn't see that. That would be so cute. I do have some on my page. Like a lot of the stuff has the logo on the front, and then if you flip it to the back, it says some of the sayings and stuff. But that would be cool. There ain't no honor amongst the thieves at all. Michelle said, "Oh my goodness, I can't wait to try bath salts." Please don't. Bad girl said, "I don't care where we go, don't care what we do. Pretty baby, just take me with you." I'm sure that's a song, and I sung it way out of tune. But yeah, that's cute.
Or become crazy.
Yes.
Now, you've never seen Michelle use drugs, have you?
No.
She drank with Fabian on the day in question, but to your knowledge, she's never used drugs, has she?
No.
Now, you said that Fabian was smoking a bowl of meth, but the police never found any methamphetamine or bowls of meth. Isn't that
No,
true?
he probably stashed it pretty good in the light fixture where he kept it. If you probably go to that apartment now, you could probably find it.
Oh, so it's in the light fixture.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever tell the police that when you talked to them and
No.
prepared your plea?
No.
No? You spoke how many hours with the detectives before you entered into your plea agreement?
I believe a couple of days.
A lot of hours, true?
True.
And you never mentioned that there might be some drugs that the police never found.
I don't recall.
In fact, the only drugs they found on the scene was marijuana, weed, right?
I don't know.
You don't know? Did you see any of the pictures of what they found?
No.
Now, you were, there's a hospital document that shows that you had a lot of meth in your system.
Objection, Your Honor, to the characterization of a lot of meth. I don't know that Mr. Aarons can say that.
I'll rephrase, thank you. You had over 1,000 nanograms per milliliter of methamphetamine.
What? Why do we describe it like that? We need to find out what that is. How much is a 1,000 nanograms of meth per? Again, I hope they don't. I hope they don't pull my Google history. What does nanogram per milliliter mean? Well, I'm not doing all that. Nanogram per milliliter stands for nanograms per milliliter. It's a unit of measurement used to express the concentration of a substance in a liquid. In drug testing, nanogram per milliliter refers to the concentration of a drug or its metabolites in a urine sample. So she had 1,000 nanograms per liter. So it says when you undergo a drug test, the lab analyzes your urine sample to detect the presence of drugs or their metabolites. The results are reported in nanograms per milliliter, indicating the concentration of the substance in your urine. For example, a result of 50 nanograms per milliliter for marijuana means there are 50 nanograms of THC per milliliter of urine. So there was 1,000 nanograms of methamphetamine per milliliter in her urine. That is insane. That is a lot of meth.
That was the cutoff level, right?
I guess.
All right.
The cutoff
And that's
level.
what you remember from that
Like, does that mean there was more, but the test doesn't even test that high? Jeez Louise, ma'am.
day.
Yes, but when I got arrested, I had methamphetamines on me because I got it back from Fabian and I stuck it in my mouth when I got arrested. So that could be the cause of the high level of methamphetamines in my system.
All right, well, let's slow that down. Because I don't think you ever told the police that Fabian gave you something that you put in your mouth.
He never gave me something that I put in my mouth. I put it in my mouth. I had it.
You had the methamphetamine.
Yes, I had the methamphetamine.
And didn't you tell Detective Lewis that you got your methamphetamine from the twins, Willie and the twins?
Yes, and then I threw it in the trash that day. Fabian took it out, and later on that night I asked for it back.
Me too,
So
Joey.
you get this meth that you use,
Hey,
you were
Megs.
using too much of, right?
I agree.
And you're saying you put this meth, you threw it away.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why didn't you tell the police that in the 2 days that you were interviewed?
I did tell them that.
Now, you don't remember, well, before I go to that, you woke Fabian up in the morning. This is Tuesday morning. And you wanted him to talk to him while you were working on your book about the Bible and working with God, your relationship, right?
Yes.
And your conversation with Fabian was really about trying to get yourself and your children right with God, right?
Him too. My family. He is my family.
Everyone, right?
Yes.
And your mom taught you that when you're in trouble, you need to turn to God and ask for help, right?
Right.
And ask for forgiveness.
Right.
I agree with that. Hey, Crispy Treat, good to see you. Thank y'all for saying hey to everybody. Y'all are so inclusive, and I love it.
You certainly weren't talking about doing something violent like dismembering a child or burning her body. None of those sorts of thoughts came into anybody's mind when you were talking to Fabian that day.
No, they didn't. But
It was really good things about trying to do right in this earth.
Yes.
Now, you don't remember picking Victoria up or being asked to pick Victoria up at the bus stop.
Veronica said, why is he talking to her like she's a dumb 5-year-old? In a lot of these cases, they talk to them like children. So just basically so the jury can get a good understanding of the case and what they're paying attention to and what they're listening to. That's right, Vonnie. Not super effective, not super effective legally, and that's right. I
Is
agree.
that your testimony?
That is my testimony.
So you don't remember, or it didn't happen, that Michelle texted you and said, don't forget, in 10 minutes you're supposed to pick up Victoria. You don't remember that text.
No, I never received that text.
And I guess then you don't remember Fabian and Michelle getting mad at you like you told your mom because you didn't get little Victoria at the bus stop. You don't remember that argument at all, do you?
Then the argument never happened.
Okay. And you don't remember Fabian telling you that he's sorry, but
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
doesn't go to the truth, but the effect on the listener?
Finish the question, I'm here.
All right.
Don't answer.
Don't answer, but I'll ask the question and then we'll
Can
see.
we approach and hear the questions?
Sure.
Since it's not going to include the statement.
We are approaching again. Tom said jury's been asleep for 45 minutes by now. I hope they're paying attention because this is important testimony. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Michelle testifies. I'm not going to go through all of the cops and everything from everybody, but I do want to go through Jessica and Michelle's, good gracious, Jessica and Michelle's testimony because I do feel like theirs is important.
That was the last straw.
Oh,
No.
dang it. We'll have to do it from right here because they come back on in the middle of a question. Cara said, my hair just got grayer with this lawyer's questioning. No doubt. Did Fabian ever make any statements in reference to ask the questions right way, dude?
This
Yeah.
mix-up with the bus stop was the last straw.
No. If that was the case, they would have let me leave that morning when my mom wanted to go pick me up.
Well, you were supposed to leave that night, but your mom didn't know where you lived.
Just tell you need more, please.
My mom didn't know the address because Fabian wouldn't give me the address. And Fabian agreed that he'd give me a ride to my mom's, and that was on my account because I wanted to leave, not because I was told to leave.
Not because you had messed up with Victoria.
That was on, no.
Now, that was on, you were gonna finish that sentence?
No.
No. Isn't it true that not only did you forget to go to the bus stop, but you locked the door where Victoria couldn't get inside?
No.
Because what you testified earlier is that you kept the door ajar that whole day. Isn't that your testimony?
That is my testimony.
So you denied that Victoria was locked out of her house on her birthday.
Can you rephrase that?
So she did testify that she kept the door ajar all day, but I also would see her having the door locked because she's in such a state of paranoia. And I could definitely see that I could definitely think it's a possibility that Victoria was locked out of the apartment, and that's why she was just riding the scooter down at the bottom. Maybe Michelle and Fabian did ask Jessica to pick her up from the bus stop, and Jessica, being high and out of her mind, forgot or was too paranoid to go outside and pick her up from the bus stop. So Victoria came home, realized the door was locked, and played outside or went to her friend's house. Yeah, that part didn't make sense to me. She said she didn't know the address of the apartment, yet she had Martine come over and bang her on the couch. So how did you tell him? I mean, if you didn't know where it was, how the hell did you tell him to come meet you there and give you some on the couch? Like, stop it. Like she contradicts herself a lot.
You denied that afternoon when Victoria came home from school that she knocked on the door and the door was locked.
Well, if she would have knocked on the door and it was locked, I would have heard the knock. But the door was open, sir.
So she was never locked out.
She was never locked out.
And what happened with her had nothing to do with your leaving. That's your testimony.
What happened with her had nothing to do with you leaving? Horse Lover, good to see you, said she just got out of prison. She was high as fuck, and she knew the essay would be discovered in the B-Day party. In the B-Day party happened. Well, that's interesting that you say that because Fabian says that Jessica would put her to sleep and like lay in the bed with her and shit and like be under the covers with her, which was always weird to me. No, I don't think we ever get a motive, unfortunately, Para. Because she doesn't ever admit to doing what she did. Like you're not ever going to convince me that she didn't know who the unknown male is. She knows damn good who it is, in my opinion. Damn good and well, and she ain't going to snitch on him.
What happened to her had nothing to do with me.
Well, nothing happened to her, right? That's what you're saying.
And then going further into that, the fact that she would throw her cousin that she supposedly loved so much and had grown up with under the bus to protect this unknown male means it's somebody close to her that she either cares for more than she cares for Fabian or is deathly afraid of. And I mean, I could see being deathly afraid of them if they did that to Victoria.
I don't understand. Can you please rephrase that?
You deny that Fabian and Michelle came storming into the apartment yelling at you about why you didn't pick up her little baby at the bus stop.
No. Don't you have my phone records? My phone records will show that I never received her text.
You never got her
I never even
text.
have, no. I don't even know where her bus stop's at.
Now, you gave Victoria some money for her birthday, right?
Yes.
Do you remember being with Victoria and telling a neighbor that Victoria likes makeup? That might be a present they could get for her.
I might have said that when the two neighbors, when we were walking up the stairs, because Victoria does like makeup. Because the morning I was getting ready for my interview, she wanted to put on makeup, and I wouldn't allow her to wear the lipstick I wear because I wear a dark color of lipstick, so I gave her some pixie dust that morning. So that's why I said maybe she likes makeup. But I honestly, I didn't remember saying that.
But it might have been said.
Yes, it might have been said.
All right. So you were interacting with the other neighbors, and you were talking just fine, right?
So, I mean, we can, I can change it to something else if you guys want. I know a lot of you don't like his voice. I think it's important personally. Like, I'll watch it if you guys want me to change it. I just felt like it's important because the defense is basically, Fabian's lawyer is questioning her, so basically going to point out her lies and things that don't make sense. So I'm interested to hear what they find and what they're able to point out that she's lying about and prove. Horse Lover said multi-generational abuse. It happened to Jessica. It happened to Fabian. It happened to all the children in their family. They thought it was acceptable within their family, and it's not just their family, allegedly. Yeah, I think it could. I think it's a good possibility. Hey, Bree Black again. Bree Black said, "Have you heard of Chandra Vander Ark?" Yes, I have, and her son Paul. I have. Have you heard of Letitia Stout? I have. I have. I actually just submitted a request for some information on Letitia Stout, some body cam videos and things that I'm hoping to hear back from. So I do have a request in for some videos and things on Letitia Stout, and hopefully they'll get back to me and I can put out those body cam videos as well. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I would love to cover Gannon Stout's story. I watched that one. That one was really sad. You do? His face at sentencing was great. I watched it over and over. Mm. Yeah, you're here for it, Lydia? Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to get I just submitted the FOIA request over the weekend though, so I'm waiting for them to get back to me, but hopefully I'll be able to release some body cam footage on Letitia and maybe we can cover that case. I would like to pull that information and put it out. That's an interesting case. Um, yeah, Gannon's case was sad, especially hearing Al talk about things. You know, that man was a hardworking military man that served our country and trusted this woman with his children. And I mean, he seemed like a very caring and present as much as he could be father. And I mean, his heart was broken. It's so sad. Veronica, I don't know, man. I'll never understand.
Yes.
You weren't angry that Victoria had caused you to leave?
No.
You weren't angry at Victoria at all, you're saying?
No, I was never angry at that little girl.
And your testimony is that Fabian and Michelle just disappeared. They didn't say that they were going to go back to his family.
No.
Because you don't remember them coming there angry, right?
They never came there angry.
Now, Victoria was safe outside and on her scooter in her neighborhood with her friends, wasn't she?
In your opinion, you may think that she was safe, but in my opinion, I felt that she was unsafe being unsupervised. And she wasn't playing with no friends, she was out there alone.
Well, there were some people, there were people that you talked to about makeup. They were out there, right?
Those are the neighbors.
And there were children her age playing outside, weren't they?
Hey, Cecil.
I didn't see any.
Victoria was outside playing on her scooter when you made her come back inside, didn't you?
I didn't make her, I asked her to come inside, being that her mom wasn't out there.
Her parents were coming, well, not her parents, but her mom and her mom's new boyfriend were coming back soon, right?
I didn't know where they were at. I didn't know if they were coming back soon or not.
But you took it upon yourself to bring her back into the house, didn't you?
Yes. Well, that's her home. She shouldn't be outside by herself, unsupervised.
I mean, but at the same time, you could have walked outside and sat on the steps and watched her play on the scooter. So I think it was more of a I'm tripping out and I'm paranoid out my motherfucking mind because I've been in here smoking meth all day. So you need to come inside because at least you're inside and you're safe, what you would consider safe or not going to get kidnapped at least inside the apartment, and I can be in here and tweak out. That's what that was. And she would have been safer outside, in my opinion.
Would you agree that if she had stayed outside until they came home, none of this would have happened?
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
Now
I do
we've
too,
seen
Mercedes.
This picture of your boyfriend, and you said you went online to look for Sinner, right?
Yes.
Isn't it true that you thought he was out on furlough and he would turn himself back into Clayton?
No, he was about ready to get out, but I knew he wasn't out because I looked him up that morning.
But you were thinking he might be out or he's getting out soon?
I knew he was getting out soon.
And you were worried what he might think you had other boyfriends, and you both loved him and worried about him getting out, true?
Can you rephrase that?
Didn't you tell Fabian that you were worried about what if Sinner would be mad because you had been with another man?
No.
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that. She did both love him and want him out of prison, and she was scared to damn death. She even references it in the damn jail call. Stop it. No, ma'am.
And didn't he tell you to live your own life and not worry about it?
No.
He joked to you about, well, he was going to go go find out where Sinner is or bring him home or something like that. He told that to you, right?
Yes.
But your sister made the same kind of a joke to you in that phone call, didn't she? She was talking about Sinner being there. So that's just some joke that both of them made with you, right?
They do that because they know I'm high and I get paranoid when I'm high.
But you don't get violent when you're high, do you?
No.
Now, you were worried about Sinner rolling up, not somebody looking for Fabian, right?
Right.
You had no reason to believe anybody was looking for Fabian.
No.
You had never taken meth or any other drug that made you as paranoid as this, did you?
No.
Why didn't you lock the front door when you thought Sinner was coming?
So I wanted to hear him come up those stairs if he was coming.
The only thing that we know for sure, Fabian is guilty of reckless child endangerment for moving Jessica into the apartment and having her around Victoria. Jessica is the one testifying on the stand. Cell phone evidence shows that the mother and Fabian were not at the house when Victoria's time of death was. That happened while Jessica was at the house alone with Victoria, but there is an unknown male DNA on her. Jessica's story is a man came in looking for Fabian. She went outside to smoke a cigarette. This man raped and killed Victoria and then told Jessica to get rid of the body, and so that's what she did or was attempting to do. The only charge Fabian has is reckless child endangerment. Jessica is charged with the homicide, I do believe, and there's an unknown male DNA that's on her that nobody's ever been able to find.
I also thought the cops might be coming too. I didn't know if it was going to be either or. But I guess that's just my paranoia of being ran up on when I'm high.
And you deny that the door was locked when Victoria came home, right?
Right.
It turns out Sinner didn't have his furlough yet, did he? He was in jail or prison when this happened, correct?
Correct.
So he wasn't the person who had a Mexican accent and came in the door, was he? It had to be somebody else. right?
Well, I would recognize it if it was him.
You would have known if it was
I
him,
would have
right?
known if it was him.
Now, you talked to your other sister, I think she's a sister, named Nia, right around that time too, right?
Well, I call her my sister. She's really not my sister.
All right, but she's close to you, right?
Right.
And you had a normal conversation with her, didn't you?
Yes.
Just like you had with your sister Crystal. True?
That wasn't a normal conversation, sir.
The one with Crystal wasn't normal?
No.
Well, you're talking about she needing money in her commissary, and you put money in her commissary before, right?
Yes.
And she gave you some contacts, and you wrote it down on the back of your book, people to call and what their names were and everything.
Mm-hmm.
True?
Yeah. I was doing favors for the other girls because I know how it is to be locked up. Sometimes you can't get a hold of people, so, you know, that's just what you do. You just look out for people sometimes.
And you talked to your mom on the phone as well that day.
Yes. I talked to her twice.
Now, as I understand your testimony, a stranger killed Victoria, not you. That's your testimony, right?
Yes.
Do you remember when, right when you were arrested, you were asked, who else was in the apartment with you? And you said another guy. Remember saying that?
Mm-hmm.
But you were
Yes.
referring to Fabian, not to the stranger, right?
No. I would have said Fabian. I wouldn't have said another guy.
Well, you said he took off, he started to wipe blood off, and I started panicking. Did the stranger wipe blood off, or did Fabian in the middle of your fight?
I fabricated that because the officers wanted to know something, so I gave them just something so they'll leave me alone.
So you fabricated the story about the other guy wiping blood off. Is that right? That didn't happen.
That did not happen.
And you,
So I don't understand what your crispy treat said. So can somebody answer me? All allegedly speculating. What was the situation with the cousin? The first story. I think that's been the story from the beginning. Uh, they basically don't know what happened. Michelle's interrogation, she says a bunch of things that she saw them killing her and all the things, but Michelle's interrogation was proven to be not so accurate. Um, but it's a lot. I think this was pretty much the story to begin with. Horse Lover said, listening here to her hospital audio recording, she was verbally abusing and several times physically lashed out at the nurse and medical staff. She was an abomination during her hospital stay. And she was, and it's really interesting to see her try to be a completely different person while she's on the stand here. It's actually ridiculous in my opinion.
he asked for the name, and you said, I don't know his name. They
Hey,
call
Abraham.
him Lacote. Do you remember saying that to the officer?
Yes.
Now, who calls him Lacote? Well, you said they. Well, what? Somebody must call him Lacote.
I just said that so the officers will just arrest me and just leave me alone.
All right, so, because I was trying to figure out.
She just said that so the officers would go ahead and arrest her and leave her alone. Yet there is definitely unknown male DNA that nobody has been able to figure out who it belongs to. Like, I don't think so. I think that you let a man come in that went by that nickname, the Crazy, and or some nickname that's relatively close to that, and you basically traded this child for what you wanted. because she was already geeked out of her mind. I bet that's what she did. That's just my speculation.
How did you know the man's nickname if you'd never seen him before?
Correct.
So it's just a lie to the police. You didn't want to tell them that there's somebody murdered this child and it wasn't you.
Well, I let them know that there was another man, and they kept persisting, so I gave them what they wanted.
You just gave them what they wanted, right?
Yes.
Now, you refused to give a statement to the police, which was your right to refuse, right?
Right.
Now, about 2 years later, there was a press conference about your case.
Objection, Your Honor. You wait for
I mean, what's the issue? Okay, bad girl. So there is another person. There's an unknown male DNA. Touch DNA, the unknown male DNA, or is it sperm or vaginal? I think we figured out that it was on the neck. Hold on, we'll look that up real quick while they're, dang it, hold on. While they're doing that, I'm pretty sure it was, I know it was on the neck and it was somewhere else. Hold on. Martens. Hold on just a minute. The unknown male DNA was found on Victoria Martens' neck and underneath her fingernails. The case was initially thought to involve Victoria's mother, Michelle Martens, and her then boyfriend, Fabian Gonzalez, but DNA from an unknown male assailant was later discovered. So that's all we know about that. Let me pull this back up. Skip the sidebar. Oh, this is a long one.
Identification is...
He said he handed her something that's been marked for identification as...
is H1, H, defendant's H.
Defense H.
Do you remember the day that there was news about your case?
Yep, Abraham.
Michelle Martens had taken a plea and they were filing a complaint against someone else. Do you remember that day?
Yes,
possibly.
And you were in your pod, I think it's pod 5, cell 6.
Yes.
Okay.
And you had a TV in there and you were watching this news event about your case, right?
Yes.
Now, you didn't know at the time that Detective Lewis had wired your pod and captured what you had to say. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
And basically what the news was is that they were going to, they had or were...
Did you guys check that? The damn detectives did some damn psyop shit and wired her cell. So she had a TV in her cell, and evidently the police or the detective or somebody with the police department had wired that cell to capture everything Jessica said. And she saw on the news a story about her case and said something because he's bringing it up. I wonder what she said, what they caught her on wiretap in her jail cell saying.
Filing a complaint against
Hey,
John Doe, an unknown man whose DNA was found on Victoria's body. That's what they were telling everybody, including yourself, right?
I knew about it before the press conference.
Okay. But that's the first time the public knew, right?
Right.
You knew about it because you had
Yeah,
read
so hold on.
the most of
Hold on
the
just a minute.
papers that were in your case. You knew that the DNA, that there were DNA reports, right?
Right.
And so if we look on page 3, I'll ask you, do you remember saying, Quavo, hey, Roy Ball, I'm on the news today. Do you remember that yourself, that you were talking to your friend, Roy Ball?
Actually, that was a CO.
Oh, it was a CO?
Yes.
Okay. And an inmate said, that's it, girl.
Objection, Your Honor.
No,
Not heard you for that, sir.
thank you. That's it, girl, something like that. Do you remember anybody else talking about, hey, you're on the news, you know, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. And you explained it wasn't really your case, but the mom had taken a plea, and she got effing 12 to 15 today. Remember saying, I don't know, were you talking to the CO or the other inmates? Who were you talking to?
I wasn't talking to the CO, I was talking to another inmate.
All right. And did you explain
What?
to the inmate that the mom...
She just said that I was talking to a CO, and now she just said I wasn't talking to a CO. I was talking to another inmate. Like, what the flip? But she's happy about being on the news regardless, and she saw that Michelle Martens had taken a plea. Hey Becky, I did drop the Discord link. I'll actually go ahead and pin it at the top. Discord is a messaging app where everybody, the mods and everybody from like that hangs out at the channel, you can download the app and learn how to use it. And we all just kind of communicate and stuff in there. I had not been around as much because I had so much going on. I still have a lot going on, but I am trying to be more present in there than I had been. So I do try to come in and talk occasionally because I homeschool children. I have 2 gardens going. One is overgrown with grass. I am constantly working on a video. Um, I'm working on a crochet project that I've got to get done for my daughter because she graduates at the end of the month, and I want to give it to her then. And then we're doing the merch. So my plate is always so full, but I try to get in there as much as I can. So if you guys want like a place to talk, it's like a messaging app, and we all hang out in there. Abraham said, I don't think it's the same in jail. They bugged her cell probably. I think so. Horse Lover said participated. She allowed her boyfriend Fabian to bring his biological cousin Jessica into the home and sleep with her daughter with Fabian. I don't know. It's a speculation or an accusation, right, Hannah? You're welcome, Becky. You're in the state's custody, then there's no expectation of privacy in that case, I think. Yeah, I think they probably could get away with it. Lord, yes, Basil is my child. He is my fur baby, but he's always with me hanging out. He's sitting on the bed now, laying under the window, just sleeping. It's so funny. I have this big peep pillow that I put like on the floor at the foot of my bed. So if he jumps off the bed, he's not like hitting the floor. It's like a big fluffy pillow, and it's probably like 3 feet tall, but it's like flat. So it lays on the floor and goes about 3 feet out. And at night, we have to put a gate up because he'll come in here when me and Mr. Speculating are sleeping, and he'll jump on the bed and like start playing and stuff. And Mr. Speculating has restless leg syndrome. I don't want him to pick his legs up and like hit him. So anyway, at night, when it's time for him to go to bed, he'll be laying on that pillow, and I have to like pull the pillow in there. It's like his little chariot. He is so spoiled, and he expects me to pull his chariot in there with him on it every single night. So, interesting side note, I suppose.
Meaning Michelle got 12 to 15 years.
Yeah, it was all over the news. They heard it. I just repeated what the news
Aw.
said.
Mine's the 29th, heathen. My oldest daughter, too.
Okay, and
Hey, Orange.
you told them, they said there's an unknown male out there. Do you remember telling the other inmate?
Yeah.
You told them, I mean, they eliminated Fabian from raping her, you know what I mean? But
She just said they eliminated Fabian from raping her. You know what I mean? What are we at? 22:30? I'm going to take it back to 2:29:18 so we can hear that again. One sunny day said, I found this channel through Discord. I did not know that. Isn't that interesting? I had no idea you found us through that. That's really cool, and I'm glad you're here. The files are so she can look back at what she said or what they have documented and basically refresh her memory. So I'm gonna not highlight a comment. I think she just said Fabian had been cleared from raping Victoria. We're gonna listen to it again.
or the other inmates, who are you talking to?
I wasn't talking to the CO, I was talking to another inmate.
All right. And did you explain to the inmate that the mom, meaning Michelle, got 12 to 15 years?
Yeah, it was all over the news. They heard it. I just repeated what the news said.
Okay, and you told them, they said there's an unknown male out there. Do you remember telling the other inmate?
Yeah.
You told them, I mean, they eliminated Fabian from raping her, you know what I mean? But she did not get a murder charge, I told you. Did you say that to the inmate?
Yep. Yes.
And then did you say, you were talking about, I guess an inmate asked you if that would change things for you or him. And by him, didn't he mean Fabian? Isn't that your understanding?
Yes.
Okay. And you said, kinda does. But then why would he lie? You know what I mean? Why would he lie and say he's seen shit that he didn't? I did it. Straight set up. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, I did.
Why would he say shit he didn't see? I did it straight set up. And Fabian was cleared from raping Victoria.
And you were pretty mad because in Fabian's statement, as the jury will hear, he claimed that he
Tonto,
saw
good to see you.
stabbing Victoria to death. And that was a lie, wasn't it?
Yes.
He never saw you.
No.
You did it straight set up, didn't you?
I'm going to object to the mischaracterization of what this says and ask that we read the entire portion instead of stopping mid-sentence.
I'll read the whole paragraph.
All right, sustain.
You remember saying when you were asked if it changed things?
So he's reading an entire paragraph of something she said. When you were asked if it changed things.
For Fabian, well, they kind of.
For Fabian, well, they kind of.
It does, but then why would he lie? You know what I mean? Why would he lie and say he's seen shit that he didn't?
But you know why it kind of changes things for Fabian, but you know why, you know what I mean? Why would he lie and say he saw things that he didn't see? Which tells me he wasn't involved in the decapitation or anything. That's what I hear. Moo dang? Moo dang? You're so funny, Michelle. Horse Lover said that he absolutely did. He may not have been as violent as his cousin, but I believe, Michelle, this was typical in all of her relationships. You think so, Horse Lover?
I did it straight set up. She fucking lied on every story.
Jessica said, I did it straight set up. She fucking lied on every story. She said.
Because she had the low IQ. She lied.
Because she had the low IQ. She lied.
On everything. And they said, please do not effing take.
She lied on everything, and they said, please do not fucking take
into what has been put out about the case. It's all been
into what has been put out about the case. It's all been
lies.
lies.
Is that what you said?
Yes, that's what the press conference said, that don't take anything that Michelle Martens had said, because everything that's been put out in the case has been lies.
Okay. But what you were upset about is that Fabian lied when he said he saw you stabbing Victoria, right?
Yes, I said that.
And you were upset. The press conference said it was all lies, all effing lies. She's lying because she's a people pleaser, and being that she has such a low IQ, she said whatever people wanted her to say. You're talking about Michelle there, right?
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, she is talking about Michelle, and she wouldn't know that because she had been around Michelle before all of this happened. But that was also, I mean, we've played the press conference several times for people coming in, that are curious about Michelle and what she admitted to. And we've seen several times how they talk about that it was all lies, that she thought by saying those things she was getting herself out of trouble, and that's why she has such a reaction when she gets arrested.
So in all reality, that's been put out there, everything that's been put out there is effing lies. Except for Escape, she didn't, the little girl was raped right at death. There's an unknown male or unknown males that...
She said the little girl was raped right at death. There's an unknown male or unknown males that
need to eliminate. So other than the fact that there was nothing done to the girl at her death, everything that was out there was a lie, right?
Yes.
And they're still working to get the killer, and that scared the F out of you, because they're going to say more than one person killed her. You know what I mean?
They're still working.
So in all reality, I'm the last one to go, and being that they haven't offered me an effing plea because I won't talk, that just scares me, you know what I mean?
So she's saying they're looking for the other killers, and I haven't been offered a plea deal. They won't offer me one because I haven't talked, and I'm scared. Whoa. Tanti, I'm sorry if I'm saying your wrong names. If I'm saying your name wrong. She says, I hate when she calls her little girl. Show some humility. Exactly. This is interesting.
Like, are you going to give me the murder charge? But inaudible me, pretty much? That's right there.
She said, are you going to give me the charge? And then it says inaudible. I bet you she said, but fuck me, pretty much. That's right. There's a
big change.
Big change.
Over that the jury know that there's an unknown male out there. That's what you're telling the other.
She wants the jury to know there's an unknown male. She don't want to take the murder charge.
Inmate, right?
I don't see where you're reading that up.
Well, from line 16 through 20 on page 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a little backdrop, you have not given a statement to anybody yet, right? I mean, you, other than whatever you told the police at your arrest and maybe when you were at the hospital, you didn't give a police statement, and you're thinking they're going to go after you for the murder, right?
Right.
But this is a good break for you. I mean, they're thinking John Doe might have done it, right? Isn't that maybe a way out of this?
It's not a way out of it. You can't lie with DNA, sir.
Well, you and I both know that male DNA could have been her playmates, not the man that came in the door.
Maybe you know, but I don't know.
You can't explain why there's 2 or 4 male DNAs in the same spot, can you?
No.
What?
And in fact, the officer asked you if more than one person came in the door, and you said, nope, only one, right?
Right.
Did he legitimately just say there was 3 or 4 male DNAs in one spot? And then she was asked if more than one person came in the door, and she said, no, only one? Oh my God. We're at 25:36. I'm going to take it back to 2:34:38. About a minute. Listen to this.
We're at the hospital. You didn't give a police statement, and you're thinking they're going to go after you for the murder, right?
Right.
But this is a good break for you. I mean, they're thinking John Doe might have done it, right? Isn't that your maybe a way out of this?
It's not a way out of it. It's, you can't lie with DNA, sir.
Well, you and I both know that male DNA could have been her playmates, not the man that came in the door.
Maybe you know, but I don't know.
You can't explain why there's 2 or 4 male DNAs in the same spot, can you?
No.
What?
And in fact, the officer asked you if more than one person came in the door, and you said, nope, only one, right?
Right.
So you were asking this other inmate, come on, what would you think just from hearing that? What would you think? Would you think that me and Fabian killed this little girl? Or would you what? Would you think that we killed her or somebody else killed her, being that they have the DNA? You're trying to see sort of, well, now that we've got some DNA, maybe it's not you and Fabian who killed this little girl, right?
No, honestly,
Okay, I'm going to back that up again too, but Abraham might have explained it to me, so let's see what she said real quick. Abraham said, he said you can't have 4 make DNA in one spot. Okay, so I misunderstood it. He's saying that like you can't have a bunch of different male DNA in one spot. Is that what you're saying? I must have misunderstood it. I appreciate the clarification because I was like, oh my God. Anders said, I heard that the DNA was semen on her stomach, but that was the detective who said that to Fabian. They probably lied then. That Michelle was selling Victoria was probably also a lie. Yeah, at that point, they would not have had the DNA results back yet, so it probably was a lie, if I had to guess. Abellis, you're so funny.
it's not a way out of it. It's, you can't lie with DNA, sir.
Sorry, I
Well,
didn't mean
you and I
to
both
take it back
know
that far.
That male DNA could have been her playmates, not the man that came in the door.
Maybe you know, but I don't know.
You can't explain why there's 2 or 4 male DNAs in the same spot, can you?
No.
I mean, that seems pretty cut and dry. You can't explain why there's 2 or 4 male DNA in the same spot, can you? And she says no. Tati says, yes, that's what he's saying. Michelle lied and she said she saw him put it on her stomach. Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's what Michelle said. That he finished on her stomach. That's right. Y'all are right. That's what I think he's saying. Okay. Michelle had said that basically, let me give you a trigger warning, that basically Fabian raped Victoria, and when he finished, he pulled out and ejaculated on her stomach. And that's what we were talking about because that's where they tell Fabian that his DNA would be on her stomach, even though it wasn't.
And in fact, the officer asked you if more than one person came in the door, and you said, nope, only one, right?
Right.
So you were asking this other inmate, Come on, what would you think just from hearing that? What would you think? Would you think that me and Fabian killed this little girl? Or would you what? Would you think that we killed her or somebody else killed her, being that they have the DNA? You're trying to see sort of, well, now that we've got some DNA, maybe it's not you and Fabian who killed this little girl, right?
No, honestly, I just want to know what the public thinks and what has been put out there, how pleasant their minds could be. I just wanted to know their opinion.
All right. So this was sort of somebody who saw that evidence. Well, what do you think now that you heard there's some DNA out there? They won't blame Fabian and me for killing this little girl, right?
Honestly, I was more worried about the rape charge.
So they found DNA on her. Y'all are saying that seminal DNA, there can't be more than one. It would just be one. And it was touch DNA on her neck, and then there was DNA under her fingernails. And she's saying now now that they found the other DNA, they won't blame me and Fabian for killing her.
And you were worried
And she said she was more worried about the rape charge.
about, and that's not true. There was nothing sexual ever done to Victoria, right?
Right. But we were charged, all of us were charged for crimes that none of us committed, but we were still charged for it, so.
And that's because of all of those lies.
Yes. And with my experience with police, CEOs, you never know. You could just piss off somebody and they're going to charge you with something, and half the time you end up taking a plea for it.
And you felt.
Oh, she's trying to slight us and say that, she didn't do the shit, and referencing saying, they can charge you with some shit and half of the time you just take a plea for it. She's trying to basically say that that's what she did without saying it out loud. Is this going to get taken down in prison? Is this bitch going to get taken down in prison? I hope she did. I hope she is. She deserves it.
Felt like you're just the scapegoat, right?
Yeah.
Now, on the bottom of that page 6, you said, I don't want them to hate Fabian. That's my cousin. You know what I mean? But he is wrong.
Your Honor, I'm going to object and ask that we read the whole sentence and not start in the middle.
Mr.
I thought maybe they could do it on redirect, but I'll read the whole thing, Judge. So the unknown inmate says, yeah, inaudible, hard inaudible. You don't think, okay, yeah, that was just a big thing, just to let the effing public know that there's an unknown male. I, inaudible, you mean like? I'm what? I wanted to tell my family so bad, but boom. Now my family knows, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want them to hate Fabian. That's my cousin, you know what I mean? But he is wrong for effing lying on me. You know what I mean? He effing gave them an open gate, opened the door for them to effing take my life. Did you say that to your fellow inmate?
I sure did.
So she says she loves Fabian and she doesn't want him to go down, but he opened the door for them to take her fucking life. Basically give her the electric chair or put her to death. This monster and Fabian have previous SA charges. Fabian doesn't have previous SA charges that I found. It was just a child abuse charge, and we evidently he got in a fight with the baby mama and flung his hand and might have hit the baby by accident, from what I understand. Yeah, I don't think Fabian did this either, but I respect everybody's opinion, even if you think that he did and that, that he's guilty. We are all very open here, and we respect everybody's thoughts, opinions, and speculations.
And on the next page, to continue, and I don't think there's a break here. Yeah, oh, he says, yeah, and then you continue. So, in all reality, ask him, but I'm pretty glad he ain't going to be raped while he's in prison, you know what I mean? But yet, he is dead. He effed. Even my husband's a big MF in prison. He did?
He's fucked. Even my husband's a big motherfucker in prison, is what she's saying. He's not gonna be raped, but he's fucked in prison. Even my husband is a big motherfucker in prison, is what she's saying right now.
He done effed up, you know what I mean?
He done fucked up.
What did you mean by that?
Exactly what it says.
That basically Fabian isn't going to be raped in prison, he's going to be killed in prison, right?
Objection, Your Honor. That's speculation and not what the witness said.
No.
What, give your interpretation of it.
Yeah, what did you mean?
My interpretation is, thank God he ain't gonna be raped, but he's dead to me. Fabian is dead to me. As of right now, he's dead to me.
But you didn't say he's dead to you, you said he is dead, he effed. And even my husband's a big MF in prison. You were
Crispy Tree, this is just a case that I FOIA'd because, like a lot of people, you see the interrogation of Michelle Martens, and hear about all of the things that she says happened to Victoria, and then you find out that she only got 12 years. So I was like, what on, like, how in the hell did that happen? So I submitted a Freedom of Information Act and I purchased everything that I've been able to purchase so far. There's still more I've got to get. But I was interested in the case just personally. I wanted to know what the real story was, and I don't know that we'll ever know the real story, but I had this information and a lot of it had not been released, and so I decided to release it, and now we've been through the interrogations, and I'm going through audio that I have and trying to get it out as much and quickly as I can. And we're looking at the trial now to see if we can get a better idea of what really happened. Like, I want to know what really happened that night. And we may never, like Tati said, we may never ever know what truly happened that day. And it is really sad. No, you're fine, Crispy. You're good, sweetheart.
Were you referring to John?
No, he ain't my husband. I don't have a husband.
Okay, but some big MFs are going to take care of this, right?
No,
That's not what you were saying?
no.
So, he's dead to you, Fabian, right?
Yes.
He's not your beloved cousin who you had to protect. He's somebody who
That's a part of my past.
lied, and because he said he saw you stabbing Victoria to death, he deserves to die, right?
No. That's not what I said.
But you got up here on the stand and cried, saying that that's your cousin and you love him so much, and in the same breath saying he's dead to you.
I feel that he's dead to me because of everything that has happened. Both of our lives are ruined. Because somebody lost their life behind all of this.
And he's
And it's not right. It's
he
not right.
caused it, is what you're saying. Not you, but him.
No. I'm taking full responsibility for everything that happened that day. And I can never fix that.
Do you remember telling a cellmate, we're going to write a book about my life? Did you tell your cellmate that too?
Yes.
Lydia, thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so very much. I will grab the crazy train and pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Thank you so much, Lydia. Yeah, I do have goats on the property. I did milk one yesterday, right? I have another case too that we're going to go over once I get everything out on this case and we finish covering it. I have another case that's about some horrific things that some teenagers did. And I've got a bunch of information on that we'll release too. I wish I could put pajamas on those goats. Those goats are hard-headed and they don't listen. But if they were mine, I would try to put pajamas on them and do all the things. Thank you again, Lydia. That was so sweet of you.
Why not? I have a bunch of time on my hands, I could write a book.
Okay. Let's see. So that's when you changed your story.
Objection, Your Honor.
Put on your mic when you have to come out.
Sorry. Objection, Your Honor, that's a mischaracterization. She did not change her story. She's already testified about telling police at the scene that there was someone else there.
Is that a bench conference?
I was typing a comment. Hold on. All right. You know what? We'll pause it right here because we've got like exactly an hour left in this court testimony or testimony. We got exactly an hour left in this one, and then the next one I think is like an hour and 42 minutes. Considering that, sorry, I had gum in my mouth. Considering that the defense is questioning her, I'm sure the prosecution is going to do a rebuttal, and we're going to see what Michelle had to say also, although I don't think her testimony is nearly as long as Jessica's. I do want to thank you all for being here today. Is Bruce a mini cow? No, but I want a mini cow so freaking bad. I want one of the Highland cows, like a mini Highland cow. Oh my God. I would be in heaven, but I probably should not get one because that thing would probably sleep at like in my bed with me every night. Like I would, like a dog, you know how the dog sleeps in the bed with you. That would be where the cow slept. So, I almost got like a baby turkey that I thought I was at the Tractor Supply. No, I was at Southern States and it wasn't moving around in the thing. And I was like, I think something's wrong with the turkey. And then they looked at me and they said, well, you can just put it back. There's nothing we can do. If they die, that's just what it is. And I was like, oh my God, no. And I asked how much it was, and they told me they were 10.99. And I sat him down, and I was paying for the fence post for the garden, and I paid for those. And I looked back in there, and he was just fine. He had started running around and walking. I couldn't even tell which one it was. So I think I don't know what was going on, but I almost had a turkey, and I was like, if I had gotten that turkey would be an inside turkey, and it just wouldn't be good because I love animals so much. Rubber Ramada has been a member for 6 months. Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. That is so sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so much for that. Rubber said, thanks for this safe and special place for all. You're so sweet. Thank you for being a member and a part of our speculating family. I really appreciate that. You guys make it amazing. You guys really do make it amazing. It would be nothing without you guys. You guys are great. I love our chat. This is the best place on YouTube. Izzy, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh my God. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'll keep you in my prayers, sweetheart. And if you ever need to talk to somebody, you can feel free to email me. Also, I saw I have some emails I need to check, and I will do that today. I love how everyone is allowed to differ in thought and no one is trolled. This is the best group. Aw, thank you. My mods do a great job of keeping all the trolls out too. I'm so sorry, Izzy. Yeah, I'll keep you in my prayers. That's so awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm gonna go. I don't know if I can't. Like, it won't let me on here. See, I click it like that, and it doesn't let me. It doesn't let me click it like that. Plus, I don't think I have Facebook logged in. Oh, I do have Facebook. Let me see if I can pull it up on Google. I put in Bruce the mini cow makes a pie. Let me see it. I'm going to share what came up. Let's see. Oh, that's a big cow. Goodness.
Bruce.
Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Let me pull it back up. I was trying to close out the other tab. We'll watch it again. There we go. He has a hat. Oh, yeah, I see it.
Bruce.
Yeah, that's like an Angus cow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's like I'll be taking all of that, thanks. Well, that was funny. We'll watch the giant PB&J and then we'll go. Okay, I want it to go full screen. Well, it won't go full screen. Hold on. We got to see it in full screen. Oh my goodness, Bruce, what are you doing? Lord, he ate the whole banana, peel and all. Stoic, we're getting ready to go. We were looking at this cow.
No.
He's eating all the bread. That's slobber everywhere. I couldn't do it. Look at the puppy. Yeah, that's slobber. I couldn't handle it. Ew, God, that's gross. I can't do it. I can't with the slobber. Yeah, he could share. Bruce the cow is a mental health break. With that, I'm going to go. Please keep Izzy in your prayers. My goodness, that was such a hard thing. And everybody else that's going through some things. If nobody has told you you are enough, you are important, you are special, and you are loved, thank you for being here with us today. I will be back tomorrow. We'll continue talking about this case, and I'm working on trying to get some more info on Jack and Lily Sullivan. Please keep your eyes and ears out for them and any other missing children. I love you all so very much. You all are so amazing to me. You make my day brighter. Especially if I'm having a bad day, I can come hang out with y'all and talk, and it's just amazing. And I love y'all for that. I will see y'all tomorrow. Yeah, I need a bath after that too, for real. All right, y'all, have a good night. Love y'all. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. to the